Hey everybody and welcome to the 10th point, season 8, week 5. I am the Red Mage and joining me for our weekly dose of powerful magic ready to be shown on your screens are Zanti
Hello.
and Gosmit.
Hello, Mountain is best mana base ever.
Alright, how you doing you guys?
I still haven't
Great.
killed a troll, so
Why are you here?
I was told to be here.
That's
Also, you can see my face on that cosmic, so like bonus.
That is a deep question. Oh, why are we here? Are we born just to cast lightning bolts and brainstorms? Is that it?
I do like casting a brainstorm.
Absolutely. Speaking of
I
what
like
we
casting
like
it.
to
I don't
do,
like resolving. That's a lot of work.
yeah, speaking of what we like to do, we like to play some Canadian Highlander, some powerful magic around here. If you're unfamiliar with what we are the 7th Point. We are a weekly tournament series organization. We run Canadian Highlander tournaments every Sunday, more or less, except on the off season. If you're unsure what Canadian Highlander is, it's a 100-card singleton format, which means you can only play one of most any cards except basic lands and a couple of cards with no restrictions like Relentless Rats. Instead of a ban list, we have a points list, which means you can play certain cards that are really powerful, like Black Lotus, but it takes up 7 out of 10 points in the case of Black Lotus, 4 out of 10 points in the case of Demonic Tutor, which means you can't run both of those in the same deck, just to make some of the most busted strategies just a tad bit less busted. If you are interested in anything what you're seeing here, the Canadian Highlander Discord is a great place to check out. It's where you can talk about brews, you can talk about playing games, anything related to Canadian Highlander. And if you're interested in what we're doing here, we have a website, the10thpoint.weebly.com, where you can find anything about events, us, our rules, anything else you want to know. If you're interested in joining in what you're seeing here, if you think it's interesting, we have our next event command. It links you to our sign up page at mtgmelee.com, which is exactly where you want to be going for the next event. Speaking of the next event, there's actually something really special. That is that we're running a special qualifier. Normally, the way you qualify for our season finale is by having one of the top points by the end of our 10 weeks. However, we have chosen this season to run 2 special qualifiers that will give respectively 1 place each in the final. How do you get to play in these season special qualifiers? Same as always, you sign up, but as opposed to the usual time, we will actually be running it on next Saturday at 1 p.m. EST, 10 a.m. PST, or 7 p.m. CET, depending on what time zone you use. If you use another one, you will have to correct that yourself. We will be playing most likely, if we're the same amount of players as we are approximately right now, so about the 9-10 players, we'll be running most likely a 3-round Swiss into a top 4 single elimination, with the winner advancing directly to our finale at the end of the season. If you want to help us out, so we can give some great prizes to all these great players who are winning all these tournaments and doing some hilarious things and some great things, a subscription is a great way to support us because that allows us to fund prizes and to just improve the stream overall. And a great way to subscribe is a Twitch Prime subscription. If you have one of those lying around, use it on someone. It can be us, it can be on someone else. Just make sure you get to use that, because Jeff Bezos and Amazon are plenty rich. With that said,
I think it's called the Prime Gaming subscription now.
is it called a Prime Gaming subscription now? Oh god.
Yeah, they changed it
It's
up.
even longer now. Boy.
Sorry, go ahead.
Brand marketing and all. But yeah, I think that's all of our bunch of pre-tournament announcement rambling out of the way. I think we want to start taking a look at some games here, because we have a lovely 9 players here to play 4 rounds of Swiss tournament for us here. We'll have to see what we can, what powerful magic we will be seeing today. What interesting brews and lists will be
Speaking
on
of
today.
which, pairings are up. So let's
Lovely
pick
stuff.
our. Let's. Do we want to just feature somebody that we don't normally get to, like Sparks or Stompy?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are definitely both great options. Let me see. Do they play? They're not playing against each other. Sparks is playing against Blahguy, and Stompy is playing against
Since
Wolfgang
Wolfgang.
Cloud. I would say either or is fine with me. I don't know
I
which
would
one
like
you
to
would
see
prefer.
Spark, just to
That's
see
fine with
what
me.
they're playing. Like we have seen Stompy in the past last season a couple times.
Correct.
So let's just see what's happening then.
Lovely stuff. So,
All right.
looking at pairings here, I'm just going to go over them for you if you're listening at home. We have our bye. That's Brahms who's got the first round bye here. We have Sparks versus Blahguy, as we mentioned. They will be the feature match for this round. Evius versus Luca, Necropotence versus Bailite, and Stompy versus Wolfgang Cloud. Those will be our 4 matches and 1 bye for the round. So while we're getting set up here, let's just make sure. Yeah, Stompy's just muted here. So let's go over what we if we do. Blahguy has actually been pretty consistent in what he's been bringing to our tournaments here. He's been on Black Red Aggro, Black Red Aggro, Black Red Aggro, and I think also Black Red Aggro quite a lot. However,
And then he was on
last week,
Jund Aggro last week.
exactly. Last week he decided 2 colors just was not enough. We had to add 1 more to get even more powerful cards and bring even more powerful beats. Now, I'm not sure what exactly Sparks is on here.
Oh,
However,
I have.
considering
He's on Enchantress.
he's on Enchantress. Ooh, that is going
Yeah.
to be a lovely. Are we talking green white? Or are we going even further beyond?
4 colors. So yeah, further
4
beyond.
colors Enchantress. A tad bit, yes, indeed. So we will have to get those 2 set up. Seems like we are slowly but surely getting the camera set up here in the background.
Yeah, Sparks' hand is doing the thing where we need to switch between sharing the screen. Yeah, there you go. Okay, never mind. We got the
Absolutely.
hand.
So, Santi, first intuitions, Enchantress, 4-color Enchantress versus a Jund Aggro deck. What do you want to be? What are your plans for the both of your either deck?
I kind of like being the Enchantress player in this matchup. There's not a lot of matchups where I'll say that, but the Enchantress player seems like they have a lot of tools to stabilize the board earlier. A lot of the removal that Blahguy is going to play is not going to be that relevant in this matchup.
But
I think it
is
will be an
Enchantress not a deck
interesting
that
matchup,
gets?
though.
Is Enchantress not a fairly slow deck to get started? Like, it's definitely a powerful engine deck. Isn't Blahguy gonna be able to punish possible slower gameplay, like playing a turn 2 or 3 Enchantress?
I mean, it's possible that Blahguy can punish it, but then it also depends. Do you think Blahguy really is going to be able to punish super quick starts? Because by not playing just straight mono red, you are becoming a little slower, and that may give the Enchantress player to get some time to set up with some form of life gain or something else that will allow them to stabilize the board. And looking at the hand that we see here, based on the Enchantress player, we have a turn 1 Utopia Sprawl slash Guild Birds of Paradise, which is going to be a lot of ramping on turn 2.
There is.
Being done.
Sorry. I forgot to mute myself. You may continue.
So something interesting here is this choice of basic land. Sorry, not basic land, fetch land. What we get the tiger here to improve a card ape. As at the point where we fetch, we only had 2 lands, one of which being this waste here, I think it's called, Llanowar Waste, which has no basic types, which means to improve our card ape, we want that mountain, and we cast it, and we want a forest to buff it.
We're going to see an attack here. We also see snow-covered swamp bench at the exile zone, which probably doesn't help Blahguy figure out what their opponent is on.
No, this is this opening from Sparks is very open to be just about anything. You can be any of the many green X creature decks that you could find in the format. Pod. As of one I can think of, Alurin. Some sort of hoof deck playing blue. A lot of options. However, I think seeing this Destiny Spinner and Utopia Sprawl, I think you might start getting curious about abilities here.
See, if I was just looking at this, I'd think, are they trying to be some kind of like weird, like mono green, like a ramp hoof deck playing these weird cards? But then I remember they exiled a swamp from the top of their library. I'm like, that's not right. We see a Fatal Push get cast on this Destiny Spinner, which makes sense. Gonna see an
Definitely does
attack
block
here for
quite well
4.
here on the board, taking out the rubber and holding back the card ape for now. So we're probably going to see just a fetch, a 2-drop, and swing in here. Not
Yeah.
necessarily in that order, but nonetheless.
Probably gonna see the Sky Play come out. That would be my guess over the Asylum Visitor.
Makes sense. Now we did
Next
see
turn.
the hand get quite dumped here from Sparks, just unloading a lot of cards last turn here, which did make this rubber not trigger. Now I'm curious, do you think rubber is going to be of high importance in the triggers in this matchup?
I don't think it will be that high importance. I think that Robber is always a card that is very. I mean, if you hit your opponent's best card in your deck, like if you hit your opponent's Ancestral Recall, then it's very important. But it's just if you hit something, you hit something. If you don't, you don't. It's you generally aren't going to be expecting to hit something completely
So
busted.
you mostly play it as a 2-mana 2/2 haste reach with
Yep.
a slight upside.
Yeah, it has. I mean, the upside is real, right? You get to exile a card, and sometimes this card is relevant. It's basically free money, but like.
Yeah, you hit some sort of random removal spell or counter spell, and it'll allow you to do some neat things.
Notably, Blahguy could have gotten it to trigger last turn if he had played his creature pre-combat, which he probably should have done to make it trigger, but chose not to.
We're just going to see presumably a Planeswalker here, perhaps?
Yep, the
Yep.
Commander Planeswalker from, I believe, last year it was.
No, I don't believe it was a Commander Planeswalker. I believe it's literally from Pharaohs.
Was this Theros? It was Theros,
Correct.
right? That was a real set.
I do not remember his name, I'll admit, but Calyx, I believe it is, as far as I can see. Yep, Calyx, Destiny's Hand, there we have him on our right. He has a +1 that allows him to look at the top cards of your library and look for some enchantment cards and put them into your hand. He has -3, allows you to exile a creature or enchantment. And then until another target enchantment leaves the battlefield, I believe turning it into a more or less O-ring kind of effect. And his -7 brings all of the enchantments to the yard, from the yard to the battlefield.
I'm going to see an attack for 10 here. It's quite an attack.
It is indeed, especially when you're at 11. I'm curious, do you think
That-
Blahguy will try and attack Calyx here and just wait a turn? Or do you think he's just going to go, I'm a kill?
I would kill him. Like, my personal preference is you just kill the man. Like, they're at 11. You're like, look, you're at 1. Literally, all of my creatures are lethal. All of my spells in my deck are basically lethal. Like, figure something out. Can't fetch
Yeah, that seems
anymore.
pretty reasonable. In that case, do you think if you're in Spark's position here, do you jump block here or do you keep the bird around for one more turn?
I keep the bird. The only way you're coming out of this is drawing something stupid and making some. Like, you have to keep the mana around to do stupid things, right?
Absolutely.
Now, if they didn't know what was up before the Calyx, which, I mean, the Calyx probably should have. Well, they killed the Calyx, so that gave Sparks another turn, which they drew a Holophant, which is not a good draw in this case, but.
So you're in Spark's position here, playing an Enchantress deck. What are you looking for here? What type of cards do you want to just praise on
I
top of
would
your
have
library right
definitely
now?
played the Sylvan Library last turn.
Well, making
I
a
think what's
3/3.
going to happen is we're going to have Beast Within of their own Birds of Paradise to block something to favorably trade.
Might it not make more sense to perhaps say Beast Within a land?
Yes, that would. They're going to Beast Within something from their own.
While I don't believe Sparks knew it unless there's some cheating going on, which I highly doubt. There is going to be another haster coming down here on the board, putting on even further pressure. I mean, that even chump blocking here with the spurt alone is not sufficient.
Yeah, Brahms
Which
in
does raise
chat
the question.
has an important point, which is that they're definitely probably just looking for moat. That's why they're digging, but it might be too late.
Mode is definitely a great card on this board. Just
But
says
if
you
you
can't
want to
attack.
dig, the best way to dig is to play the Sylvan Library last turn. Like you still have the mana. I guess you don't. You can.
In this case, you would actually have been dead if you played the Civil Library, as it just so happens.
You're dead because they have another haste creature, but I still think that was your
Correct.
best way to try to find what you need to find.
I do agree with you here. I do think you have to take a
Now
risk here.
you're killing a 2-power creature, so you're probably killing this like Curd Ape, and then you're blocking the like one of the 3-power creatures, and you're taking exactly. No, you have to block 2 3-power creatures and go to 1. So
Correct. There are two powers and 3 powers. Blocking, you're not blocking the two powers most likely. As doing so would leave you at very dead. Otherwise. And now we have to like
Vampire
completely fight
Cure
mode.
would have been good if you weren't at 1 life and if you weren't dead on your opponent's next turn.
Correct. One more turn and a couple more lives could have gotten there perhaps. But
2 more
for now,
life and
it is
like
just not enough. And we are
4
going to see
more mana would have gotten you there as
here.
well. But
I'd have cast it. You know, go out on your own terms.
yeah,
Reasonable. I will be right back in a moment.
so looking at hands here from Blahguy's hand, we have the best card in Magic the Gathering of Rotting Megasaur, and the second best card in Magic the Gathering of Lightning Skelemental. We have a good keep from Blahguy over here. I do like his hand. The second land, 2 lands makes his hand very good.
Yeah.
You
What
need
is
to draw a
the
3rd land.
what is the sequencing on the other side? Because I'm guessing that what you're trying to do here is trying to put a moat onto the battlefield as fast as you humanly can, right? What is the fastest that Sparks' hand puts a moat onto the battlefield?
What's the second card in his hand?
Increasing ambition? Let me see if I can figure that out.
I mean, right now, none of his cards actually put a moat on the battlefield.
There's a Helios Pilgrim that can find some stuff.
It finds an aura, right? Can the
Yeah.
aura? Is
Oh,
there
there
an
is a
aura that
Curse of
finds?
Misfortunes, I believe.
I would start with the Enchantress here. You're not actually under that much pressure
Ooh,
right now, to be
balance.
perfectly fair.
Also, the leftmost card is an Enigmatic Incarnation, I think.
Yes, which lets you sacrifice an enchantment to find, I believe, a creature, or is it another enchantment? It's Birthing Pod, but you sack an enchantment on your
Yeah.
ends, basically.
Yeah. And it just pods automatically every turn instead of having to tap it and that stuff.
Oppressive Raise.
Oppressive Raise that's what he needs it to do.
See, I don't really like this sequence. I would have rather have had the Mesa Enchantress out so you can start drawing cards. Also, this
Yeah.
Oppressive Raise just makes your balance worse.
It does. This Helios Pilgrim is what makes the balance work. Because will it be Lightning Skelemental? Will we see?
Lightning Skelemental's in the hand, so we know it's not going to get cascaded into.
Unfortunate.
Built to Smash got cascaded into.
Yeah, I mean, there is a fair point that maybe you keep the Enchantress for after balance is cast.
I mean, yes, but you can also just keep your Enchantress and get rid of this.
Yeah, but every
Helios
creature
token.
that's on the battlefield makes your balance less effective, right?
There.
And we're back. Definitely
So
an
the
interesting
cynic,
board state we're back to here.
yeah, the plan that the conclusion that we reached is that basically Sparks' point is that like Sparks' goal on these matches to try and put a moat onto the battlefield the fastest you can humanly put a moat onto the battlefield, and then tell Blahguy, hey, figure these out. But we don't
Currently,
think
there's
his
no
hand
way
is capable of
elegantly
doing
done.
that.
I think the closest we're getting is like enigmatic into something that tutors it.
And the Enigmatic actually gets it pretty easily, right?
Yeah,
You
you
just
get
play what
is
any
it, 4 mana
3-mana
one?
enchantment.
No, you sacrifice an enchantment to get a creature, don't you?
No, it gets an artifact or enchantment with
No,
CMC +1, right?
it gets a creature. You sack an enchantment and
Yeah.
it gets a creature.
That's what makes it a weird card to design your deck around, is that you have to have both
Yeah.
creatures and enchantments.
Well, there's creatures
So
that are
we're-
both.
Absolutely, that's why it was in Pharaohs.
You can, for example, you could sack your Wolf Willow Haven to find a Cursor of Krufix, and then that Cursor of Krufix can still get sucked to the Enigmatic Incarnation to find something.
I'd
But
like the no
Correct.
block here. I like it because you're trying to play this Enigmatic thing next turn, and you need your Carriage to play it. Now, I'm kind of down to just play this Enigmatic thing and find just something that can block if you want to sack something to it.
But yeah, we definitely see the Rotting Ritual come down here. It is a creature that just says, you have to deal with me. Especially
It's
with
a
this
rotting
Team of
Regisaur.
Battle Rage in hand. That is a 1-2 punch that will just go KO.
Yeah, this match looks a little bit like it's not gonna be much of a match.
well, so Blahguy at the beginning of Spark's next upkeep, if there is a Spark's next upkeep,
There's
is
not
gonna.
going to be though with this rotting Regisaur.
Yeah, I didn't see the Timur Battle Rage. He was going to be
This match is
enchanted.
just over.
Well, you can block. You have a card.
Yes, you
Like,
know what a rotting
Enchantress is one of
Regisaur gives, Marco?
Well, I mean,
Or
now
a team of battle
TBR is
rage?
gonna give it trampled. Yeah, now, yeah. But the register by
Enchantress.
itself wasn't enough.
Thing about Enchantress is that it's one of those decks that, yeah, it has an answer for a lot of things, especially if you choose to run like the right hate pieces. We mentioned Moat is a great card in this matchup. But it's also a deck where you run a lot of, for that same reason, dead cards. If you're playing against blue-white control, Moat, suddenly not that impressive. Which leaves you with, like, Overwhelming Splendor, also a very interesting choice to have, yes.
No,
Especially
I
if you get
mean,
it with,
yeah, you get it with the
what is
curse.
the curse, yeah. Also with, what is it called, the 4-mana Rector. Academy Rector. Also a great way to just find a just about anything. Yeah, we're gonna see Team of Battle Rage into your hand. Swing in for who knows how much. 14, 16, I
14,
believe it is. And it is
16,
a
16
good
minus
bit more than
3,
lethal.
13. Opponent's going to go to -2 here. -3 here, my bad.
I believe -5 actually, because it's 14, 16, 19, but -3 damage. So I do believe it's actually -5, but I might be incorrect.
Well, as you see here, Rotting Regisaur again turns out to be the best card ever printed by Magic the Gathering. Don't worry
Well,
about these
it's
things like
definitely
Oko or Uro, but Rotting Regisaur is where it's
it's
at.
definitely one of those cards that if you just let it, if it just gets on the board and just gets to attack once, it's done its job and it's done its way better than it even needs to. Like, 7/6 for 3 mana. Sure, it gets chump blocked all day, but they don't have a blocker. And if you don't have a removal spell, you're in for a world of pain. So we see here what seems to be a... We know that Wolfgang is probably on his Grixis midrange shell here. Tempo midrange shell.
Looks like Grixis versus Teamer.
Yeah, we see a Nature's Law in the yard. A Path to Exile. I don't actually think it's Teamer. I think it's
And
4
4
colored.
color. It could just be
Quite
4
possible
color.
blackness, something of the sort. Perhaps maybe some sort of scape shift deck. That's something I could see playing Nature's Lore for sure. We are trying to get the cams up here in the meantime in the background, as much as possible, of course. So we'll have to make do with what we have.
It
Let's see what
also
we
is
have here.
notable that it looks like that Wolfgang missed his land drop last turn.
Yep.
Which I don't know the matchup for sure, but doesn't really look like what you want to be doing right now. This
And we're
matchup.
also looking at a hand from Wolfgang that is featuring 1 blue source in a usually pretty heavily blue deck, and 1 red source as well. Not the best mana configuration to date. We'll have to make do with what we have. That said, Stompy only with currently 4 cards in hand. Sorry, 2 cards in hand, being Brainstorm and admittedly Fact to Fiction, which is a great way to
Yeah, that
refuel your hand.
factor fiction will let you regain some card advantage.
So that is going to help you out here. Liana, pretty decent way to just go. If you don't deal with it now, it'll grind you
Wait,
out.
did Blahguy
I'll
just
minus.
or did Wolfgang just not play his land last turn? Or did he miss a previous land drop on another turn?
I'm not sure.
Because we do see that there is a land in Wolfgang's hand.
There's also a chance that for some reason they figure I'm just not going to need this mana,
That
which would be a weird choice though.
on your 4th land?
Yeah, it would seem weird. I'm trying to figure out Vampire Tutor in the graveyard, him much flats. One
You
more
split
unknown
these
in
clouds up.
Wolfgang's
I
yard.
think you give them
I think it's land cryptic would be probably the versus the ponder negate. Like if I'm in a zombie seat here, I'll take the cryptic and the ponder. Thank you
Cryptic Ponder is
very
definitely
much.
very powerful because if you need a land, it will one of those will find a land. Without knowing the brainstorm, this pile isn't terrible. I would probably give them cryptic non-fetch land, honestly, as my pile, and then ponder
Agreed.
negate fetch land.
Cryptic is a hot bit ahead of everything else, and I think the second best card is probably the ponder, honestly.
Yeah, the ponder's the second best card, but
That finds you just about anything you need. I can see the cryptic fetch here. That isn't too bad either. I think I'm a bigger fan, depending on what your plan is here. I guess an
Just
argument is that you hope to have them discarded.
Just gonna quickly
Not
make a
sure.
point that the score that we're showing on screen is correct. Wolfgang is up a game in this match. Just I figured I'll let you know.
we'll see clean to dust here. Exiling a cryptic command, reasonable. Don't want them to snap that.
So pretty much everything we've seen out of Stump here, as I like that Nature's Law and Path, we can see there in the yard. It's been blue cards. Blue cards, blue cards, blue cards. I'm curious to see what exactly they are on. If they're just on a 4-color control list, or if they're on some sort of set, as I said, perhaps Scape Shift or similar. Though I think they would have been having more red sources if that was the case. We will have to see though.
Wolfgang discarding the brainstorm since both players decided to have identical hands here in brainstorm negate.
Somewhat. I think rather than negate here from Stompy, just realizing that, nah, I'm not afraid of whatever non-creatures they're going to cast. I don't want to keep up cards for that. Fable Passage, fetch land,
So
wanted.
this brainstorm did a great job of drawing Snapcaster Mage.
Yep.
Wonderful draw. It did.
So much for not getting Critical Command. Or if you wanted, second fact fiction later on. For now, I think you just so we see them put back both lands and just keep the
See, I would just play this land, fetch, and cast this Hieroglyphic Illumination now while my opponent's tapped out.
Yeah, I think that's
Like you have a
pretty
Liliana, in play. I'm gonna just have card advantage.
The one
Figure
downside
out.
of that is that now you just leave yourself open. You keep up the mage, which is definitely a downside.
But like, what are you planning on snap cashing back? I guess you could snap
I
back.
believe you have a what is it called? The Devil Spell X cost. I don't remember his name currently.
Like, see, now Wolfgang is just like, now this is gonna go poorly, right? Now they are just going to cast their Hieroglyphic Illumination because they're forced to do this now in response to the Liliana's activation, which you knew was gonna happen. And now it's just gonna get negated, and now you're gonna have to discard your Snapcaster.
Yeah, now you get a choice of, do I want to try and just draw 2 cards here and just get rid of some bad card I'm probably gonna draw, or do I want to just like take up my loss?
You definitely
Because
cast a Hieroglyphic Illumination here. Like,
yeah, like you set
and you
yourself
get
up for this line of play, and you get hit hard by it, not knowing.
Which is why I liked doing it during your main phase when you could not get countered.
I think, and this is something that people tend to do. They think, when is the most optimal time for me to do it? Not when is it at least optimal time for my opponent to have this happen. Times. And yeah, we just see this Stomping Grounds here, which was actually shuffled away. Even though you might not believe that. Something, modal shuffle buck.
Yep.
Ooh, Terramander. Wow. That is a card that can easily provide a real threat here on the board. Especially alongside this Liliana. Just keeping anything off the board and eventually, if you feel like it, just going -6. What do you want to keep?
Deactivated this turn. Yeah, we see it in activated right now. Becomes a 5/5. Stomping Ground. Been really nice to discard one of those lanes to that Liliana and keep your snap around.
Would indeed have been quite lovely.
You can see Terramander start pressuring in though.
So this is going to be a hard game for Stompy to get back into now. Diana just makes any counter spells or interaction. Not interaction. Interaction is pretty fine still. In form of like removal. Counter spells, not that relevant. Small burn spells, not that great. Miscalc is just going to get cycled here and try and find something of use.
Mystic Confluence. So Mystic Confluence I don't hate. You can... you still hold on to this card. Liliana's gonna minus, and then in response to the Lily minus, you bounce the Terramander, making them discard the Terramander and draw 2 cards. So this was a pretty good card.
So I'm curious to see here, do we just get greedy? Thoughtseize, it's not a great draw here, but it's gonna get discarded to Liliana. One way or another.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's an interesting decision on if you cast this Thoughtseize. Your opponent didn't play a card, sure, but if it's just a counterspell, this Thoughtseize feels bad.
Absolutely.
Stompy should, however, cast.
However, I think in Wolfgang's position is like, is 2 life gonna matter in this matchup? My opponent's not been putting threats on the board. I'm not gonna need the mana for something else. So the only downside is really that, I lose maybe 2 life for no reason.
The best modes you can choose here, I believe, are just drawing 3 cards.
Yep, agreed.
Because your best card's going to get taken from the Thoughtseize, and your worst card is going to be discarded through the Liliana. Which means that you're going to get to keep your second
get a mediocre card. How great.
But it's better than drawing 2 and bouncing this.
Sure is. Unless you draw some 1-mana spell. And
well,
this is likely going to be goodbye.
This wasn't actually the worst draw. Unless your opponent, like, you're keeping some form of redraw, whether it be Explore or Fiery Islet.
Yeah,
which is
fine. If you're in Wolfgang's place, do you just take the Force of Will here? Just make sure the interaction isn't
Force of Will doesn't do
anything
because they just have to discard it eventually. I don't think it does anything. I would have probably taken the Fiery Islet because it's less mana, but taking Explore is fine.
Well, that's
It's
a check cost.
a
You could take
land.
lands.
That is true. As I was informed that Thoughtseize cannot take lands. That is true. What is
But yeah,
oh, they're
you just
all
take
Ping
the Explore.
Liliana. I see.
I do like this actually.
I was like, what's happening with this Liliana? And I was like, oh right,
Like
it's
just
just being
restricting a mana
altered.
means that possible can't be hard cast. It made it really awkward for them to draw into something. I really like this line of play.
This line of play is great. I forgot Liliana actually has this alt that people talk about and sometimes do.
She was even able to do it last time if you really wanted to, but I mean, why not keep her around and keep threatening your opponent's hand? Hard? Why hard?
Honestly, if I was splitting up hands, I'd keep them with the two. I'd put the two Tridomes and the basic land in one pile and put 4. I would put Tridome, basic land, Stomping Ground, and the other 4 being the 2 blue duels.
Well, there's 3 blue duels, but I get what you mean. The drop and the Tiger.
Oko is a magic card
Surprisingly bad.
because you don't have green mana.
Hey, you
But
don't. You trust me. I'm just gonna warn you now, Stompy. You can't hear me, but I recommend not plotting on Terramander. Just a
you don't want to
professional
make this
tip here.
Terramander a 7/7? Come on.
I mean, who even needs life totals anyways? So I
Although
think what we're seeing
this
here
was a
is
good draw
are we
still.
not gonna cast it? Oh, we can't cast it. We didn't get a green source.
We don't have a green source, right?
Wolfgang
Because
set it
we
up so
just
we couldn't have
discarded a
green
green
source
source.
here,
I
apparently.
actually really disliked this play of Stompy keeping his 4 island hand for some reason. It didn't 4 island pile. It didn't make sense to me because you're losing out on your green mana, and I think that 3 islands is reasonable and enough to have 3 blue sources. Wolfgang apparently drew some massive spells here.
I think the fact was that he was put in a position to choose between green and blue mana, green and white mana there. And he chose that white mana was most likely to help him out here. Turns out, wasn't exactly the case.
We're gonna see Plague Engineer here.
And I presume a force will take care of that. Unless you just want to go play Jace, bounce.
I mean, I think you're
Come back.
playing Jace, you're bouncing Terramander, and then next turn you're gonna start
Agreed.
Okoing. Or you're gonna try to start Okoing.
Yeah, you
So,
discard Oko here for sure. Like Oko's gonna be probably too slow.
I think you discard Force of Will. I don't think Force of Will is doing anything
Yeah,
in this
Force of Will is
matchup
pretty
because you
bad
don't
too.
have the
True.
card advantage to make Force of Will do anything.
So I guess the optimal line of play is you draw something that's probably not too relevant here, like a land, and keep it in hand, and you just play the Jace here, bounce their mana, hope to. Nope, we sacrifice the Oko here. It seems.
I do think you needed to Oko, but yeah, we see the Terramander get returned to hand.
This Liliana has just been taking over the game and just saying, this is mine, and this is mine, and this is also mine.
The Liliana has been good. The card that's actually been very good is this Terramander has just been providing the threat that they need, that Wolfgang
Absolutely.
needed.
Yeah.
Without the
Replace with
Terramander, this
Liliana
Liliana
Terramander.
actually would not be good enough of holding on to the game because we would see this Jace coming down, right? And then this Jace
Correct.
is going to be
I think you could
beating the
have
game.
any sort of real threat. That's my point. I think Liliana doing what she did
Except
makes
that
it hard to replace.
I don't think so. Like if you had Plague Engineer instead of your Terramander, your opponent would still be at like 10, 12 life, right? And they would have a lot more time and they wouldn't be completely dead on board. Terramander being such a powerful threat and being 5 damage, attacked 3 times and then Stompy was out of the game, right?
So we're just gonna see what games we have going on here in the background while this game is finished up. The Bailite Necropotence is still going on, and I think that our Luca Evios game likewise also still going on. So we're gonna have to find one of those games. I'm gonna let Red Mage choose that. Seems like
Oh
we have it
God,
up
what does this
here.
board say? Why did you choose this game?
It is a lot. It is indeed a lot.
So it looks like we have
Let's see.
mono green from Evios again. It looks like we have something from Luca. I think it's his Jund deck. There's a Hex
Yeah,
Drinker
that
with
seems to be what's
2
been on the
counters on it.
entire season.
Why is there 2 counters on this Hex Drinker? Come on. Just do something. One more, please. Why? This hurts me.
I imagine they're holding something up. Just just a feeling.
Luca, please. I
That
mean, I'm
or some
hoping they have a
interaction
good reason for it. I'm
limiting.
not gonna.
I think there's a really good reason that's even better than that. It's called Revoker. That would be why, I do believe.
I
Revoker decided
mean,
that this
fine.
X string is gonna stay teensy tiny for now.
Well, we see Lurus getting bounced ends the game. Good old
Interesting.
Krakus,
Was
make
that
your opponent
lethal if
concede mode.
they was that lethal on the defensive? I'm actually curious.
I would have
I'm
still
really
just
curious about
forced my opponent to block somehow and figure things out and then saw how things turned out after blocks, but Evios packs it up. Was that the end of the match for that game?
That was the end of the match, it seems. I do believe it. I'm not sure if that was a 2-1 or 2-0. We will have to check quickly. Let me just see here. That was, in fact, that was also our last game, by the way. The Necropotence Bailite match finished in the background. I'm just going to quickly go over our results for round number 1 while we get Pairings round number 2 underway. Brahms getting the bye, as said earlier. We saw Blahguy going 2-0 against Sparks. Evios went 2-0 against Luca. Bailite 2-1 against Necropotence, and Wolfgang went 2-0 as we saw against Stompy. That is your round 1 results. So, Red Mage.
Pairings are up.
Lovely stuff.
We have at the top of the order, we have. Why don't you just. Okay, give me a second.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't alphabetically ordered.
Yeah, it's not. We have. So at the top of the order, we have Brahms versus Blahguy and Bailite versus Evios. And so Stompy gets the bye, and then the other 2 matches are Wolfgang versus Necro, which is a per down, and Sparks versus Luca. Those are our options.
For some reason, it says that the Wolfgang Stompy match was not reported.
The Wolfgang Stompy match appears to have been reported with Wolfgang being victorious.
Yes, I do see that.
Yeah.
Well, for Wolfgang, it says, I think it's because of some problems with Wolfgang's deck list, I think. Deck list submitted falls. There seems to be some trouble in there. In the meantime, I'm looking at some options here. We have Bailite, Evios. I believe those are both 1-0. And we didn't get to see too much of Evios' list there. I think that's a fine option.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Sure. As soon as I manage to write things in places and stop being an idiot, I will be able to set it up.
Santi, the first resubscription of the evening. Love yourself, dude.
It was annoying. Like I was like, oh, is my Twitch Prime back? And it's like, oh, my Twitch Prime's back. And then it's like you have to wait 6 minutes. And so I waited 6 minutes. Then it's like, okay. I'm like, I waited 6 minutes. Then button was grayed out for like all of round 1. And I was like, what do you want from me, Twitch?
What do you want from me? And I don't think we do any more than that because DMCA. Gotta play it safe these days. Strikes happening left and right, I hear. Though those may be baseless rumors. I know not for sure. So let's see here. We have for our feature match this round.
We have a dork. They're like probably not going to be playing a dork.
Nope, it seems not. Oh. So we have Bailite on his typical Abzan mid-range control shell here with a heavy focus on the graveyard. Very grindy and attrition-y deck list, which perfectly matches Bailite's very reactive and slow and steady style, to put it that way. EVOs, we did see a little bit of last round, presumably on their medium green Stompy list here, which just tries to put out some big green and colorless beaters quickly and achieve dominance in that manner by just stomping all over the competition. So we're just quickly getting hand cam set up here in the background while the match is indeed continuing on here.
Bailite's deck is a mid-range deck that everyone else is basically a control deck. And the way that Bailite plays his mid-range deck, he definitely plays it more as a control deck. He often forgets there's this thing called the attack phase.
We have seen him
The
play
what?
defensively in positions where you would usually get much more aggressive. Incorrect. That is correct. But you also see that Bailite is often quite good at some other areas where we might disagree on him.
Bailite
Like-
is great at his deck. He plays his deck very well.
Absolutely.
And he plays his deck in a very certain style.
Yes,
we
correct.
often give him a hard time because of the style he plays it. But it's all in fun
Yeah.
games.
I mean, Bailite has consistently went to the top 8 of the finals, sorry. And has also just consistently have solid results around. And they have
And he
played their
did,
list
if I'm remembering
and tuned it a lot.
correctly, didn't he pull it out in the last, not the last season, but the season before?
Season 6 champion Bailite, yeah. Are you talking about Season 6 champion Bailite? Yeah, this is a showdown between Season 6 champion Bailite and Season 7 champion Wolfgang Cloud.
Except Wolfgang is not playing this
Except
match.
it's on
Yes.
Wolfgang.
Yeah, except, I haven't updated the Wolfgang Cloud pack yet. But,
Other than that, you're correct.
Outside of the bat, but I'm very incorrect.
We see another free mana Liana coming down here.
I
Last game,
disagree with this play.
It does allow you to get aggressive here if you want to.
I disagree with this play.
Why so?
You get to attack with your Grim Flare, but sure, but you keep your opponent's mana dork around.
True. Now, currently, you don't know that they're missing a land drop.
No, but regardless of if they're missing a land drop or not, I don't want them to play a 4-drop next turn.
Yeah, and your Liana isn't inherently dead, but this is a way to make sure Liana is gonna presumably grow a bit more.
And actually, this Liliana is dead. Not known to.
Yeah, exactly. Not known.
Skull Clamp can do it.
No, Skull Clamp is insufficient. That's only 1 damage. At least it does 3 damage.
Skull Clamp was, I guess it's +1, -1. That's fair. But
oh, +2, -1. Oh dear.
You know how to make this card more fair. You just make it -0.
Oh yeah, that'd be fair. Suddenly we're playing Skull Clamp Storm, all of us. Oh boy. Get a +1/+1 counter.
Trample.
Let's go. Nope, we see trample. Not bad. Not bad.
Trample. Well, okay.
So
I'm still not attacking here. I don't think it's
the
important.
kitchen things, or do you want to get the Skull Clamp and Time Golf down here, perhaps?
I don't like the attack with the Finhorn Elves. I kind of just like playing some idiots out. Probably this Tarmogoyf and this. Although this Tarmogoyf is super small.
Yeah, so this is a 1/2 Siege Rhino currently. That is a mediocre one.
We see Bailite commenting how it's appropriate that the green deck gets Reach and Trample on their giant.
It is a trampling spider giant. But the most giant of spiders.
You have 3 removal spells. If you want to attack, you can remove this crystalline giant and then kill the Spinhorn Elf.
You can in fact only kill one of them. You do not have the mana to cast 2.
You have a Liliana the Last Open.
Correct. Oh, I figure you meant using 2 of the removal spells.
No,
that is true. You can use the Diana to get rid of 1, then use the removal spell to get rid of whatever you feel like it's supposed to.
The only thing that I want to happen from Bailite this turn is this Liliana pluses and kill the Spinhorn Elves. Everything else,
More importantly
I
than that,
think
you
it's
want to attack
fine.
first, I think, if you do decide to attack at all. As the Tamagotchi will grow if you do kill this Lena War Elves here.
As long as this turn includes plussing Liliana on the Spinhorn Elves, I think you played this turn correctly.
I think that there is also a bit of a ticking clock situation in which if you want to kill this crystalline giant, it needs to be done before it randomly picks hexproof. Every turn you're
Correct.
kind of spinning
You
the
can do
wheel
this
and
turn.
hoping it doesn't get hexproof, because after that things
I
to
don't think
get a
it's
lot
that.
harder.
I don't think it's that scary though, to be completely honest.
But
What is
it's
it?
the biggest thing on
4/4
the board, to
flying
be
with some neat
fair.
abilities. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but it's still unbeatable.
No, but I do think like you're gonna cast a removal spell this turn. Probably this eliminate, and I think that this eliminate is just supposed to target this crystalline giant. I do think that this is probably the best turn that you could have had from Bailite. But if you made a different play, I could have argued that this other play was still correct. We see Evios
The
over
most
here
mediocre
playing
Mux here. Shouldn't have been in
Artifact.
the deck. Not even allowing you to cast your kitchen things. Actually, no, you can cast kitchen things.
You can cast Kitchen Finks, your Caracas on the battlefield.
True, true.
Also, this
We're gonna-
Timer Burst of 4/5. Holy crap, this thing's huge.
Sure is. This turns out that putting a crystalline giant in a graveyard is artifact. That was already creatures for different
Also,
reasons.
putting
Land
this Lily on the
cannot
last
be
hope in the graveyard makes this Grim Flayer a 4/4. Fun
5/6.
fact for you players at home.
Makes it a 5/6 correction. But otherwise, yeah. You are right.
So I think you have two options here. You can either play this Kitchen Finks, or I like playing Skull Clamp and just equipping it to your card. I do not like this play of playing a Walking Ballista. Because I don't know what your hope is to gain by playing this Walking Ballista.
No, like you're not threatening anything. You don't have the mana to like even like grow it in any way, shape, or form.
You can't even chump block. That's the
we're gonna
thing.
see. I presume we're gonna see a Shriekmo here. I don't like the fact that we don't see the Skull Clamp. Like I can live with playing the Walking Ballista if you still play a Skull Clamp here. Not doing so feels really not right. Like sure, you're getting beat down here. Don't get me wrong, not great. But I don't think not deploying things that are actually relevant on the board is the answer. Inevitably, I think playing the kitchen things and then skull clamping it later on is the correct
We're just
choice.
going to see a hard cast Shriekmaw.
Yeah, Shriekmaw actually really good in this board state. Does get chump blocked currently by the Walking Ballista, but even that's not too scary.
So this turn, I think we're going to see Kitchen Finks be played.
I sure do hope so. Maybe followed along by a skull clamp depending on. Nope. Oh, we're just gonna see a
As
two
we
here?
like to say, Evios decided to alt the options menu.
I'm actually curious. I don't feel like Evios was out of this yet.
I
He
think
wasn't looking great.
Evios was pretty far out of that game. I don't think it's. I think it's. He still has a chance to come back in that game. I think it's very, very unlikely. Well, we see Bailite keep a hand of 5 lands and Tainted
I just
Pact.
feel like the kitchen things would have definitely helped a ton there alongside the skull clamp.
The Grimflayer was going to constantly be getting in.
True. But a skull clamp up kitchen things can at least trade with it. Would be
The
getting in for
problem
a
with
while,
the
but I think
problem
getting
with
the kitchen things in play immediately would have just been a noticeably better bold state to be in.
the problem with Evios' hand was none of the cards in his hand were good at this point in the game. They were all just bad. And
So
because
this
they
is
were
interesting.
bad, he had to draw into cards that were good that would stabilize him, but he also didn't have the land to play that these cards that he probably had to draw into. And
Bailite decided that he was fine with keeping a Fireland hand,
yeah,
a Maya Trident, and a Tainted Pact.
yeah.
I don't think the Maya Trident is the reason you keep that hand, if so.
No, Tainted
Do you
Pact is
think the
that
Tainted Pact is just that powerful, or do you just trust that you can top deck into enough relevant cards?
I mean, I think the argument for keeping this hand is, hey, look, I have all the lands I need to play. I just need to cast some spells. Tainted Pact is a powerful spell, which can help me if I need to play it. Mire Triton can help stabilize me early, so I shouldn't be under too much pressure at the very beginning of this game. I will have my land drops, so things should be fine. I don't know if it's correct. I think I mentioned when he kept his hand that it was a little greedy, but we'll see if it works out or not. As Bailite has drawn 2 more lands off the top, it does not seem amazing.
So Bailite flipped a Stoneforge Mystic from his Mire Triton and then peeled an Unearth off the top. So that's a nice sequence of events.
He drew the Unearth
what
on
card
turn
we get
1
here, because I'm not sure we have a pro-green sword here, which would be quite good usually. I imagine
Sword of
Battleskull is
Feast and
option.
Famine.
Seems so. So what are you looking for with this Tainted Pact here? Because I imagine we're going to be seeing it cast just out of tempo reasons, unless you want to be Caracasing here instead.
Oh, Caracasing this Questing Beast seems like a great option to me.
Agree.
It is in fact legendary.
Definitely not bad. Oh, this ain't the best lineup option here. Just play Scavenging Ooze, only have 1 green mana activated. Not where you want to be. Oh, we did see a Mox here. Got a lot of mana here actually available here from Bailite.
Yeah, I like playing a Treetop Village this turn, so you get it
Mox
around.
Treetop is just fine, yeah. You can always throw in the Battleskull when you need to, and the Tainted Pact is also an instant, giving you no really reason to tap out here.
I will say, this Verdant's Gearhulk is huge. And he's going to make things huge. Now, fun fact, if you had your Kitchen Finks die before this Verdant Gearhulk came down, you could just put a counter on your Kitchen Finks to remove the -1/-1 counter and then get another Kitchen. Basically.
Okay, wait, sorry. You said how would you get to place? Oh, with the Hulk, yeah. That is like a classic line of play. The Pacific creature and putting counters on them to give them another life. Something we see, like, that is the base of some version of, like, persist combos, even. Yeah, just gonna eat something with this
back here. Was fine. Interested what is going to be found.
Ditto. I think it's just the first card that feels like remotely like decent.
Well, Chiefslur's doing a bad one.
It ain't a bad one, but I'm not sure if it's.
Ewit,
It's currently kind of awkward to cast. Eternal Witness.
We see them going deep. We're at like 16 already. 17, 18. We take Eliminate. We wanted instant speed. Okay, sure.
I was gonna ask, maybe we were going for like Wasteland or something. Try and get rid of a Green Souls here, perhaps.
Okay, now stay with me here. An 8/8 Trampler.
8/8 Trampler is pretty big. And it's surprisingly better than just playing a 3/2 here.
Just saying, an 8/8 Trampler.
So correct me, is that bigger than a 7/7?
Last I checked, the answer would be yes.
And let me just ask, like, assuming you just like kind of got to attack with this card multiple times, how quickly would Bailite be dead?
You know, some would say 2 turns now, with no life gain. Maybe 3.
Depending on the blocks, yeah, it's 2 to 3. It looks like currently.
Yeah. We are going to see that this idiot can actually not get in though, which is a little bit unfortunate.
And now we just leave both Caracas and.
What I really like doing this turn is playing the Questing.
Yes.
Because they can't Questing Beast, and they can't Caracas and put in their Battleskull. Now they're just going to put in Battleskull.
I think there's an argument to both Kitchen Finks and Leopard here, just as it's a better use of your mana, though. Admittedly.
I don't think your mana is where you're constrained, though. The problem right now is your Questing Beast is never doing anything, and this is a way for your Questing Beast to do something this turn.
We are seeing a double block here, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I would have expected, and I think that EVO should have recognized this was going to happen. And now I think EVOs is very far behind.
Yeah, now this Caracas, as you said, just gonna be continually just saying no thank you, please and kindly to this questing beat each and most likely every turn from now on. That
And
said,
also, this battle
this is
score
not
is going to be
nothing on the
turn to
board.
hand and come back down again. Like,
Absolutely. That the classic Stoneforge line. Lose my battle scroll token, get bounce it back, cast it again.
Yep.
Oh boy.
And that's why Roy thought that EVOs should have tried to
Yes, it wasn't
make use
exactly
of this
secret
quest.
information though. Ah, I see. We can now Caracas our own questing piece in response to their Caracas.
That'll show him.
Truly a powerful play. And the thing is, we can both Caracas, bounce the battle scroll, and replay it this turn. We have the mana for it, which is kind of scary.
Which is why I didn't like. I understand you weren't being mana efficient last turn when you did that play, but you did make use of one of your cards that isn't being used, which arguably is less efficient by a lot. Because last turn they would have had to decide either they take 4 from this questing beast, right? Or they have to not put in battle skull. And then
I think it's really
divert his
interesting. We've
hero.
just seen Bailite find so many pieces of mana, and yet Stoneforge Mystic in play. It's Caracas. That's more or less. Those two cards have more or less just put this game completely under Bailite's control, with a bit of help from like Land of Reliquary and some other cards. Wire Trident.
Yeah, Mire Triton flipping the Stoneforge was so huge for Bailite. The top of
Indeed,
his
a
deck
pretty
was.
noticeable hit. Yes,
Now 6/6
that's
ain't
bigger than
bad.
the 4/4 I heard.
7/7, my bad. This card is going to be getting in. That Collector Oof, never play that card. That Collector
Well, if you
Oof
do, then you're
loses you the
saying
game.
I have to trade with this with something. Currently, you can Treetop Village and Battle Skull block the Stonecoil Serpent to trade, and I think that's a trade you're perfectly happy to make. Once
The
again, we
problem
just
with Collector Oof is once your Battle Skull dies, it's just a dead card now.
agreed.
You can't get it back if your Collector Oof is on the battle.
I have no idea what Bailite wrote to us.
It was HMMM period.
As Her Majesty's what again? Yeah, but either way, I just think this is just a fine pass here.
Yeah. You do
If
not
you
want
want
to
to be
play
greedy, you could attack in here for 4 life and just be like, yeah, whatever. I'll bounce next turn. I don't think that's worth it though. I think you're plenty ahead here.
I mean, if you want to attack, you could attack. That's whatever.
And
I'm
perhaps
not
like
telling you not to.
you could
Oh no!
attack, equip to the Elvish Mystic, and then play the Collector Oof. And then have a 5/5 and a 2/2 you can trade for the Serpent if you want to. That's an option. Not one I liked, but it's an option.
I dislike this line of play significantly. In case my opinions hadn't been clear by now.
So I think actually now, due to the fact that you played this Oof, I think you block differently on this Stonecoil Serpent if it gets in. I think you block Oof, Mystic, and the Battle Skull instead.
Yep.
Instead of throwing this treat up.
I am never, if I'm in the Evios' shoes, I am never blocking this Oof for the life of me.
Like I'm just gonna try and see if I can set up a broad board and just go yeehaw at some point. Because I have some big fucking threats in this deck, and as long as my opponent's throwing lands, I am happy.
Yeah, and their reoccurring threat is no longer reoccurring. Collector for you. Blahguy, thank you for the resub. I will mention that since I just saw it. We appreciate it.
Making use of our lovely one emote slot. Gotta get the most value out of it as possible.
Exiling those cards.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. That's probably how you're winning this game. Just slowly trying to grind it out.
Wasteland's not a bad one. It
No,
gets
that
rid
gets
of
rid of the
this
Caracas here.
Caracas, which
Suddenly, Questing Beast, actually pretty relevant.
Questing Beast trades with the Batterskull, but then you can't do anything with the Batterskull.
Yeah, and you can't block it with the Oof, actually, notably.
Yeah.
Unless you want to equip that, but oh wait, no, you can't. Another option is to block with the Kitchen Things and the Treetop Village. And trade 2 for 1 in that manner. That said, I think the only card I would attack over here is Questing Beast. Anything else would allow the Oof to trade here in some manner or shape or form, and I do not like that. And hey, if my opponent, if I end up attacking in the way where I realize that, oh shit, I shouldn't attack with Questing Beast, well, I have a Caracas to make up for my mistakes. If I have to. Nope, this seems like a perfectly fine trade.
Yep.
Even with
And
a
now, well,
bastard.
Bailite is at 30. Oh, you can just name Elf. That's pretty bad. This
Let's
is
look at rid
just a
of a couple
2-4.
creatures, but it's not the most important. Like, we'll probably just see this Death Right Shaman slowly grind out the game at the best speed they can.
I mean, the Deathrite can't. There's no black mana.
True. Not with Deep Shadow leaving the battlefield. That's true.
So this Deathrite Shaman isn't doing a great job at ending the game. It's going to prolong the game. It's going to gain life for days upon days upon days.
And a prolonged game. Well, that favors
Oh, we
Bailite.
do see black mana with the elvish, the elves of the.
For this turn, yes, we do in fact.
But it's the last turn that will be around.
Triggers to not tap your Death Right Shaman and hope they don't realize that you care about your elves. Boom.
Well, that's certainly a card that you have.
Would have
How
loved
much
that
do you
the turn
really care
prior
about
to
the
Plague
Deathrite
Engineer, but we'll take it.
How much do I really care about this Deathrite Shaman right now?
At this point, not as much as I care about 2 cards. But you know what I really
Yeah,
care
that's what
about?
I'm
It's the
thinking.
leg to oof suddenly.
Just attack with everything. Maybe leave the kitchen things back. The problem is, though, if your plan is to
Yeah, I think the interesting question here
Plague
is
Engineer is almost certainly blocking some idiot here, right? Like it's probably blocking this 4/3.
true, but then it's not blocking a Stone Cold Serpent at some point. There's no way we're not blocking with the Collector Oof here from Bailite's perspective. Like that's literally just setting up a Battle Goal. Like this feels like a mistake. And it was maybe a mistake. Debatable.
Well, see now this is very interesting.
And we have Black Radical Mox Jet here. Woo.
So we get to see their opponent's kitchen finks get removed from the game. But now that my opponent no longer has the collector is no longer in the battlefield, my Deathrite Shaman can actually start doing things again and get dealing damage. So I don't really want to actually skull clamp my Deathrite Shaman anymore.
Well, Bailite has this thing where he's gonna gain a cajillion life a turn because the Batterskull's a card again.
Not into 7/7.
Well, we just played Battleskull yet again. And you know what's really good with a Battleskull? I heard this Plague Engineer does not care about a certain serpent too much. Ooh. Can you see that card to the left there of Evios' hand?
That card is pretty good. I'm just trying to do some quick math in my hand. Don't worry about me.
I can tell you for sure it's not lethal.
No, it's not. But like,
it is a great way to set up lethal at one point. What are we tapping all this mana for? Are we equipping the
equip Batterskull over to the Plague Engineer and attack with a 6/6.
Seems reasonable.
Um,
I'm curious, do you just trade if you're in Evius's position here? Do you just go, fuck it? Or do you just hope to win with Cardinal runners here
I
at some point?
think you take it this turn. Wait, Vivian gives. What does Vivian give?
This one I believe gives flash to your creatures. So this Nissa is a good bit off of flipping actually. I'm not sure I really like this choice of Nissa in this deck. It doesn't feel like a deck that usually gets to 7 lands. And a 3-mana 2/2 that gets your land just doesn't feel impressive in my opinion. I think that's an interesting choice. Like we see the same Nissa in Bailite's deck, where I feel like that list is more set up to grind out the game. Whereas in this list, if you're getting to 7 mana, you're probably sitting and questioning why you're playing Prowling Leopards a lot of the time. But we do see Nissa into Vivian here, presumably just -2 in here, plus has the
Yep.
-1. Sorry,
Minus
+1
the-
is not too interesting.
Get a face down card. Is there any way for us to figure out what that face down card is? Probably not, right?
I am unsure. I do believe we could perhaps see it on Eevee's screen share.
Evius would have to show it his hair.
No, I can just look at it. I'll take a look.
Oh, you can look at the face down card?
Yeah, it's a Thron.
That's a
That is
good
a
way
really
to
big
deal with
deal.
the baddest
That is,
skull.
that is well, at least a good way to hold back the Battle Skull for now. You know what I don't like here? I don't like not equipping something like this Nissa with the Skull Clamp. Why would you not do it? Oh, it's a 1/1, right? It's an elf.
This is just free block.
Oh, that's sick. That is a sick play. I do like that.
Death Gorge Scavenger.
So one fun thing here is that if you play the Ronas, it dies, and you can suddenly Vivian the Ronas back into exile and cast it again.
Or what you could do is you could Ronus Caracas your Ronus and play it
Ronas
again.
into Ronas. So that is pretty sick. That's definitely a way to.
How do you feel about a 28/28? Just saying. Just
usually
asking.
quite happy with those.
Just asking for a friend. This game has been a roller coaster of.
Yeah, like I keep going. Well, I guess Baylor's in control again. Baylor suddenly somehow has not found like a real grindy card like Library or anything along those lines.
He has found one really grindy
Island
card,
Tracker.
and it's kept him in this game.
And have now found multiple in Vivian, this Nissa, I suppose, as well, to some degree. Have we played a land turn, or are we just getting to play
Not
this
yet. We have not played one yet, and I think the question is next turn. Does Evios will
I think there's
Evios
two
play
options
it?
here. I think you just flash in the Nissa here, presumably, on M step.
You get to cast the Thrawn on end step, so that's pretty good.
That's an option too, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you do that, you don't get to Caracas. I guess if you use the Death Right to gain some life. Interesting card from a Jumpstart
Witch of
here.
the Moon.
I don't think it's Witch of the Moon, but the Morn.
The Moors.
Moors.
I believe it's a 5-mana 4/6 menace if you gain 4 or more life.
If you gain
No,
life,
just if you
it's just
gain life
if you gain life.
whatsoever. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, and you return also one creature card from your graveyard to your hand.
So it's a grindy
really
card.
good alongside Battle Skull, if Battle Skull ever gets to deal damage. Which, at this rate, it seems...
So we're going to see Caracas here, and then a recast of the Nissa would be my guess on this turn.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty reasonable line of play. Like, at some point, we're not going to be able to keep doing that. But at that point, we'll have a Planeswalker, we'll make a 4/4, we'll find a way out.
The thing is, you can still do that, actually. Because you can Nissa,
I don't think
Caracas your Nissa, and then play Nissa.
Here. I think that's completely reasonable too, honestly.
The problem with that play is you can't Caracas twice in the same turn, so it's You can't get that free block. But I do think once you get Thrawn that's able to regenerate itself plus 1 token on board, then you're just in a good place again, where this Plague Engineer, you just throw those 2 in front of the Plague Engineer and you're like, look, deal with this.
Supreme Phantom makes the point that a way that you could to trigger this Witch of the Moors was to attack with the Deathcore Scavenger.
That does throw your Deathcore Scavenger into a brick wall, though.
It does. But then you regrow
True,
it with the
and you
Witch
get
of the
it
Moor.
back at the very least, or something else. I think that would actually have been worth it.
So, if Evios wants to keep this Nissa around as a creature for 1 more turn, they can play their Nissa this turn and then just play the land before they play the Nissa.
True. That said, I don't think it's... Unless you really want to go for the double Eternal line, which is really
the annoying
and
thing
might
about
just
this,
win the game.
the more annoying thing about this Witch of the Moors is that it's just another Death Toucher that gets equipped with this Battle Scroll.
Oh,
and you're like, God dang it, I just want to block.
I honestly thought it was a menace. Not gonna lie. But no, yeah, the line that Red Mage suggested there of attacking, or even better that, I believe someone in chat actually mentioned, if I'm correct, yeah, Supreme Phantom, attacking with the Scavenger does seem like a reasonable line at this point. Like, yeah, sure, you're losing your Scavenger, but you're getting back any creature and forcing your opponent to sack something.
So
Which
it's not about
pretty
you don't get back anything, because you can the second part of the trigger does target, so that means that the Deathrite Shaman can exile the creature with the trigger on the stack.
that's correct.
Wait, won't the whole trigger target if there's no legal target?
I think it also targets the player.
It says each opponent. It does not target. So the spell just fizzles.
Well, I guess the effect fizzles.
Well, yeah, yes, the trigger fizzles, right? And that's, I'm wrong here. You can correct me, but it loses all legal targets.
Supreme Phantom with a really solid line of play here as well. If you really want to gain that life, activate the treetop and equip. That does give you a trampling beat if you want it.
That
so at
is
this point
certainly
with
a thing you can do. We see the treetop get activated here.
It seems so.
But yeah, it is worth noting that I think that the trigger just fizzles completely if you Deathrite Shaman, because it doesn't have any other legal target. Oh, and this is interesting actually. There's a chance that Bailite is close to dead with this Ronos next turn, even with gaining this absurd amount of life.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with land. Yeah, that is enough mana to double Eternal Runners here. So I don't believe Eternal Runners does not give Trample, correct?
It does not.
No. But you are attacking with
the
a
only
28-20.
Trampler being the Stone Coil. I do not believe it's lethal then.
I have
Particularly with this treetop.
I have an update on this whole witch kerfuffle, which is the witch does say return up to 1 creature, so you can choose not to target, in which case the trigger will have no targets, in which case it can't counter.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. So up to can mean that you can get it through, but you have to choose nothing, which is a heads up play I'm not convinced will happen. Oh, there's an interesting line.
Bailite wants to pull up this Inquisition here for some reason. Because there's been a card consistently in Nevis's hand for a while.
There was actually an interesting line from Evios' perspective where he can exile a land from the graveyard and cast this Ronos now to double his team to eat this treetop village, basically.
Yeah, and you can it's not like you're lacking Ronos activations. You can just continually Karagas it if you need it later.
I think the problem with this line is, one, you take off your DRR, Deathrite Shaman, Oh, Tarmogoyf.
Yeah.
That's a big creature.
Whenever you want to know what's exiled with what's his name, and let you know.
With
Currently, I believe
Vivian.
it's nothing. I believe it's nothing's exiled, correct?
Currently, nothing is exiled.
I don't completely like not blocking with Thron here. Because I feel like it's kind of just a free block. Oh,
True. That's just
opponent.
saying.
Do you
What do you
like my
want?
Ronos? I have a Ronos.
Yeah, everyone's here is just gonna say Bert.
So
Take down your
let's
live
see
tool
here.
a
Does
tad
this
or two.
target?
It doesn't.
No target. So heads up play by Bailite. Probably mean this Lotus Cobra is getting sacked to the wilds now.
Yeah, Cobra seems like the more reasonable play. That or maybe the Nizza, if you really.
No, this is
expect
going to
something.
turn into a Planeswalker that's going to make
Yeah,
it work.
that's that. I know. I say that is the other option. I guess this Product Zero part isn't too interesting either. Is it like a
Well, it's
4/3?
big.
You were clearly fine with trading it if you wanted to.
Titania.
Ooh.
That with a Caracas also is big.
Yeah, this is just like even just getting to get to do like whatever they feel like here with this Caracas here and play. If they just have more mana, like
Remember when we thought that Bailite's Carajas was great?
yeah.
Just
mean, there
hitting their
was
opponent's questing piece. Oh. Nissa, Voice of Zendikar on the top of the live table. That's going to make your team bigger for this
Scream
Ronos.
100% correct with that. Yes, Caracas is indeed a house. It is the house, and it is always winning. I do like using Nissa here, and
I like playing the
then
Titania here. The Titania
yeah,
seems
I like just going white, just setting up this incredible board state, and just at one point just going Ronus, Ronus, you die. Like just set that up. Like you can -2 Nissa a couple times once you need it. Well, at least the right one.
I
There are
mean,
so
the
many
thing with
planeswalkers to play.
I'm not sure I understand this attack here.
Me neither.
They just
Bailite
block
with
with their Plague
Emrakul?
Engineer.
Question mark?
What
Yeah,
did
I don't like that line of play.
what did Daylight say?
Emrakul? Question mark? Question mark?
One second.
I don't understand that attack.
That's not
That-
Emrakul. Yeah, it is not.
That attack was really weird by Helios.
Yeah, I don't like it. Like, I feel like you're this close to just like at one point just going double Ronus and just get you.
And even if you don't have even if you're not thinking about double Ronus, which I understand, that's a really weird line that you can't do most of the case, and you don't think about it, right? You're not thinking about quadrupling the power of everything on your field. You could just play this Titania and try to create 1,000,000,000 5/4s and then cast Ronus. And also, if your plan was to just throw this idiot to die, why not play your Skull Clamp first?
I think
Why
what's
not Skull
interesting
Clamp?
here, like, don't get me wrong, Eos has a ton of interesting lines of play here. So many options, so much card advantage. I think what is interesting here for me actually is what is Bailite supposed to do in this position? Just finding even more lands.
I mean, I think Bailite's plan before this was supposed to be to constantly make a 5/3 each turn. And then because you make a 5/3 each turn, you will eventually get to the point where your bonus is very good. But it just got a lot
Well,
harder
that's
to do
Eos'
this.
plan. I'm asking what Bailite's.
Bailite's
I
plan
believe,
is just
I
equip
think Bailite
random
would
things
also
with
love to
Battle
draw
Skull and
his
try to
Titania.
see if that's good enough.
And we could just get back like Wasteland or something here. Or Bayou. Bayou's not bad either.
We're just getting back a land that sacks to make another land, basically.
No, we apparently got back the Bayou. Just
No,
have
we
more
got back a
options.
fetch land that got Bayou.
Oh, right, we haven't had Bayou in play, have we? No, I don't think we had. That might have been last game.
We have not had a Bayou in play because this Death Ray Shaman
Correct.
was not able to activate other collector move.
Yep, was easy. It's in here. Going back here. Take out
Yeah.
a creature. Yeah, we take a little bit of damage. Actually, no, we don't, because there's no tremble.
And we have another creature we can start Crocusing again. So that's never gaining life. Oh, and that Guy's Cradle makes a shit ton of mana.
Oh yeah, now we're now suddenly we're just looking at go as wide as possible. And then in turn 2, we're just Ronas. Kill ya.
View the top part of your library, fetch land. Why not?
I wouldn't even be against throwing this. Can you throw away? Does Vivian allow you to cast a card even if she's dead? I believe she does,
I
correct?
believe so. Berserk. So you know what would have been really good with this Berserk? A 28/28 Stone Court.
Oh no. The dreams.
That would have been good with Berserk.
Oh. Oh yeah, Supreme pointing out that this is essentially just divination with this card I'm in play, but better.
Yep.
I'm not sure why we're creeping the front here. I guess so the Elvish Mystic does block.
So if Vivian goes away and you have cards that were exiled with Vivian, you will still be able to cast those cards, though obviously you will no longer be able to cast them as though they had flash.
Yep. So I presume we're just gonna see a ton of 5/3s here into Ronus, into Ronus. I probably have lethal next turn. I'll admit, did not do the math, but I also admit I don't think the math is too important at this point.
Vindicate's a very interesting one. I don't know exactly what it does. The board has a lot of things that you kind of care about.
Is an option.
Probably hitting the Crocus is just the best option here.
Quite interestingly, yeah, that or the Dreadhorde, the Deathrite Shaman. I think those are the two reasonable
It gets
lands to play.
the
But I don't think you have the
Crocus.
lifelink to make it to make the Deathrite worth killing. Yeah, we just flash into play here in response, so we can play and perhaps flash it back. No.
Okay, why do we wrap up this game, since it looks like it's
This is game
pretty...
2, by the way.
Yeah, I know. We're still gonna have another game after this. I'm gonna take the opportunity to go eat a bite.
Oh, all right. You know, Titania just gets back your Crocus, right?
That is valid. That is perfectly valid.
Sure.
We definitely didn't forget that at any point.
Sure.
I wanted to make that point, but then it was like either way. So that means the card reader is not gonna upgrade. I was gonna update until I'm back.
Oh no,
a few minutes.
A card reader. I think with them probably starting a new game afterwards, you might have to be somewhat available. In not too long.
We see a bunch of 5/3s right now.
We can even cast Titania again if we feel like it, and it seems like we might. Nope.
Oh,
We're just gonna take our time, sweet time. Rex Sage, goodbye. I guess you're not really leaving.
Vexage doesn't kill Batterskull. It just returns it to its hand.
Yeah, no, currently it does not. You're right. I agree.
You can wait because your creatures
why are
have
we not
flash
playing
to
this
get
Gaia's
to...
Cradle? Am I missing something here? What is?
I don't. The pluses are the Gaia's Cradle. He hadn't played a land for their EDO's plus one of his.
Yeah, so we don't know what's under this what Vivian's exiled currently.
Now, you could have had a 28/28 berserked idiot, but you don't.
You could have been this, but not.
You could have. You could have had a 56 power
Not
Trampler.
sure why we're not seeing the witch equipped here with the battle skull. It just feels like it should be. Oh look, Wasteland. What a great card right now. Really go against Titania. Flash. I guess now we can kill something in response. Congratulations.
We're gonna get
you
this
win.
Rexage in now, which I
I
guess
think
is
it's just
okay.
I think it's just creatures in play. I think that's the point. At this point, I think you just want creatures because you have the go wide option currently available. Are we gonna see Titania get to resolve first? So interesting choice. You can kill the wasteland before the Titania resolves. Sorry, not kill the wasteland. Kill the
But you kill the Crocus
kill
before
the
it resolves, then Titania just gets back the Croc.
Yeah.
And if
But
you
then you
wait
only
until
get
after
one token
Titania, the
display.
Crocus
But
just
you only
targets
get one token
Titania.
either way. So just all it does is really stop them from like getting their own wasteland. But yeah, at this point, yeah, this is looking yeah.
You can.
And if
Get
I'm not
back.
wrong, this is still during Bailite Zen step.
Yep, you just get back another wasteland something else from them.
Man, and here we thought this was a beatdown deck. Clearly, we were wrong. All along. It was just this weird combo grindy deck.
Wasteland.
We just couldn't see it.
And
We
I
were
do
blind.
think this turn, if you do Ronus, Crocus, Berserk something, they will just be dead. Plus your Nissa.
If that's not evil, I don't know what is.
Minus your Nissa first. Now cast your
we're going
Ronus.
for it. We see the line. We go for playing.
Crocus your Ronus. Feel really sad that you don't have a 60-60, or would it even be 60? It would be 8 times 2, which is 16. 16 times 2, which is 32.
We did forget to activate
64,
Conditions Factory to get a +1/+1 counter on it, but no big deal.
Like, you could have had a 64 power, whatever it's called, Stone Coil Serpent, but you don't.
Oh, too bad. Too bad.
Instead, you just have like 6 24/24s.
And a bunch of other stupid cards.
Minus
We don't even need this Bazaaar.
78 without a Berserk.
Oh god, that was disgusting. That is just like, that is some levels of rude and then some. Oh boy. So we're just gonna have to
certainly
wait
a
for
match.
the next game to set up.
I am still disappointed in my heart that I didn't get to see that 64 power Stone Coil Serpent, but I will survive, I think. It will be tough.
Oh, are you trying to tell me the person who just is in love with Rotting Register wants to see a 64/64 traveling snake?
You know, like, just saying, 64. I don't think it'd be 64/32, right? Because Berserk just doubles its power. This hand is a lot very mediocre from
interesting hand from
Evios.
Evios.
This hand is fine from Bailite. It's pretty good. You have turn 1 scavenge, you guys.
Yeah, we see keep from both players. That makes sense. None of these hands are incredible. Bailite is really solid, admittedly, but
Bailite gets a turn 1 skews, which I'm okay with. It has a fatal push. You can kill their first annoying idiot.
yeah.
Evios' hand is just.
Oh,
Assassin
my.
Choke is pretty good.
I don't even know what that card's called. I believe it's a Corset 21 protection from blue reach.
Yeah, it's
1/4.
a
makes
Weber of some sort. It's a 1/4 with hexproof from blue, and whenever it's dealt damage, you create a 1/1 sap.
Oh, we just drew a good old turn 2 1 mana dork. Oh boy, just when we want them.
So this card's gonna get fatal pushed. Just
Yep,
saying.
would make a lot of sense. Yeah, there's no way you Assassin's Trophy here. That's just a mistake.
No. You fatal push and then you eat it with ooze.
Just put on the pressure. Just go, yeah, you're gonna die here, son. Nothing you can do about that. Ooh, I hear this guy is pretty good with your life gain. Karlov,
And of course, the Spore Web Weaver has reach. I forgot to mention that, but it is implied because it is a spider.
Saffron Guns, that's what it makes. Karlov here, just a great threat here alongside the Scavenging Ooze. Admittedly, does not get to gain him the life this turn, but you know,
We see
next
the
turn.
giant come down, and we're gonna see a questing beast next turn.
Yeah, I guess we are.
This Assassin's Trophy might hit the giant
I
and
think that's
create
completely
2
reasonable.
4/4s, which I think is
Yeah,
gonna happen. This is
just 2 4/4s, just get in for 8. Seems pretty good.
yeah.
Sure, you can trade the questing beasts for one of them, probably the Scavenging Ooze, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you get the one that's not. Yeah, that's gonna become bigger.
And then you just slap down like Elvish Mystic because you did get additional forests this time around from the trophy.
It's Boreal Druid, I think, but yes. And notably, you can actually get your questing beast back with this finale of Devastation. Although I think that Evios probably is playing something that's slightly better to get, or would be slightly.
Yep, might as well get in. It does have vigilance,
Play
and it
the
does indeed
Boreal
have haste.
Druid,
Yep.
the original Snow Dork.
I'm curious. We have this Hour of Devastation in hand. Is there anything particular we're looking for here? Is there anything?
I
There's definitely
mean,
a lot of
you're no
flying
longer in
cards.
Hour of Devastation in your
Well,
hand,
it
but
doesn't matter anymore.
you could have gotten your questing beast back. I imagine they're probably playing something like Elder Gargaroth, which would have been a nice get.
Now, are we greedy enough that we just remove the Spore Weave here and just exile? Are we that greedy?
Yes, we are. Since
Oh, we are indeed. I actually would have taken this. I'm not sure I like that line of play. I'm gonna be honest here.
so the problem with this line of play is you can just chump a block of both here. One of them still trades because it's a questing
You
beast.
presumably kill one of them with your Death Touch, sure. And
Yeah,
then you presumably.
I don't really like not blocking with this Boreal Druid, but I guess it's fine because now you go to 1.
I think the extra mana might just do it with the hour, depending on what you need to find. And for that sake, if you have the black mana for it, we're 1 off
I
currently.
guess you go to
The
2
Bailite
actually
bring
because
back.
of
Yeah, you could have done 1 more damage if you wanted to eat your own Karlov in the graveyard. Somehow,
the problem
Scavenging
with the
Ooze eating up those.
finale. Actually, I guess finale doesn't target, does it?
I do not believe so.
So if this finale resolves, you can just get questing beast back without your opponent getting any chance
Yep.
to eat it.
Sure can. That said, I'm not sure that's what we're going to be seeing here. I imagine actually, off the top of my head, I could imagine whatchamacallit, Elder Gargaroth.
Yeah, the
A pretty
problem with
reasonable
getting a
play.
5-drop here is you have to tap your Boreal Druid, and you're dead to any
Yep.
off the top. Which is why it's a little off.
Titania is probably not that great right now.
And they tapped 7 mana for their questing beast anyways.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you would do that. Like, sure, if you had X equals 10, that's great. But, you didn't.
Yeah, I don't like because now you're just dead to removal spells. While you're probably not winning if a removal spell happens, right? Like you're probably not going to be able to remove this Scavenging Ooze. Maybe you can eventually, and then come back into this game. Now you're just literally dead if you don't. If they draw a removal spell here. Lingering Souls would be a good one. It's still a good one to be fair.
I mean, 4 1/1s is more than this Walking Ballista currently can handle. It's actually 1 more than it can handle.
Yeah, if a land actually stabilizes again, which you were talking about Evios not getting to 7 lands.
Yep, but any black souls and suddenly from Bailite, and we can get back a creature or two. There it is! Just
They're
gonna
gonna attack with
pew
Questing
pew
Beast.
and pew.
It's fine.
Yep.
I
get in
imagine
for-
Scoos is gonna block. No? Okay.
I don't think so. I think you get greedy here and just go, I can try and find a remove spell here. Or I just have to deal with the spirits or something. Which, alas, you do not. Because this walking ballista is a walking machine gun created by Geist Hunters, apparently. I'm finding that a lot of ghosts are dying in this matchup. Carlo died, then got eaten by the Scoos. None of these ghosts are about to get machine gunned by a
Oh,
ballista.
these poor spirits. They just want
Poor.
to stay dead, and you're not allowing them to stay dead.
Well, they want to stay undead at the very least. So we're looking at a new card from Kaldheim there. Future's Retribution. Makes a 4/4 Serra Angel token, essentially. And then it
So,
allows him on the second turn to pop a creature with less power than the angel for each
so
angel.
I just want to address something from what Blahguy said in chat. He said you probably had to do X equals survive in case Bailite decided to eat Questing Beast in response. And while that's true, I think, oh god, this Questing Beast is just disgusting now. Well, I think that's true. I think that if your plan was to get Elder
So
Gargaroth
here's
as a
the funny
backup,
thing. Here's the funny thing. I don't actually think you cast that on your Questing Beast. I think you cast on the Boreal Druid.
so the problem, I don't. This might be
But here's
lethal.
the thing. Here's the thing. If you
I
roll
don't
that on
think
the
it is.
Boreal Druid, eat up the Scouting Goose, you suddenly have a 7/7 Boreal Druid. They have to block it. Because literally, actually, I could say it can gain some life with Scavenging Ooze. Not completely true.
But so I want to address this point. Yeah, Primal White doesn't give trample. I don't think it's lethal. It destroys Bailite's board though.
Oh, thank God it doesn't get trampled. That would completely change
Yeah,
this game.
but yeah. If the plan was to get Elder Gargaroth as a backup plan, if this Questing Beast was eaten in response, I think you just get Elder Gargaroth because it's a better threat than your Questing Beast. It deals more damage. It gains you life constantly and does something else when it attacks or
The only
blocks. It still has
downside is that if
vigilance
the Scavenging
and it
Ooze
has
grows big
trample.
enough.
Like if you were planning it, like if you're getting to the point where you're gonna leave yourself dead to a removal spell anyways, you get the better threat, which in this case is the
Yeah. The only downside is that Scavenging Ooze can eventually get bigger than whatever Gargaroth can, at least by itself handle.
So I do like doing it on the Boreal Druid and tapping pretty much everything because you get in for more damage.
Yeah, this is
That
exactly
much I will say.
why I'm like, please, can we just like put them on one, just make this an awkward situation for our opponent at least.
Gargaroth's a better threat because it draws you cards, gains you life, and makes
Like
3/3
now this
beasts.
mutable would be lethal on the board. That or they trade with a Boreal Druid, in which case I'm more than happy to trade my Boreal Druid for their Scavenging Ooze. Or what I think I would have gone with, their Angel.
That's
That would
fine.
explain a lot.
I mean, but what 5-drops are in their deck that they put X equals to 5 though?
Titania ain't really worth it. Cronus, no, I still like Questing Beast better. I can't think of any. We've seen
They have Ronos, I guess, in their deck. They have
Yeah, but
they
I
have
like Questing
Ronos.
Beast better. See, that's the thing. I feel like if you just pumped the Boreal Druid there, you wouldn't have been in a much better position here. Now, this card here,
They also should have just max pump. There was no reason to half pump it, I don't think.
yeah, agreed. Like, you're not, if you, and this is going to be really difficult for you to come back from. No,
Not
apparently not
actually.
impossible.
That's a very good draw. You get to block with Mutavault, and you get to make this a 4/4 that blocks the other idiot. So yeah, you're this was a very good draw.
The question is, how many creatures do we have in the graveyard? How big is this scavenging ooze going to be?
It doesn't matter because it just gets chump blocked by the Mutavault.
True, but if you do that, then you at least trade your hex. Then your hex string ends up trading. Sadly.
No, your Hex Drinker, it's the other thing's a 3/4. I guess
It does
yeah,
do something when it dies. Very importantly. So we have Karlov, I believe we have Boreal Druid, Carter's got Exile, Questing Beast. So 3 creatures at most is the most we could do. At most it's a 5/5 Scavenging Ooze. So yeah, we can't currently block it enough. But we could if somehow they didn't attack with both.
So this
Which
just
I
means that
would
it wipes the board completely if they attack with everything.
Yep. So that leaves that puts the question in Bailite's court. Do you want to trade board for board? And it seems like it's going to be a yes, which makes sense. You're ahead on life. Like you have more time to find something.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that
god,
primal
I
might
was
turn
muted in
void the
stream.
turning.
Well, I didn't say much.
Does destroying the cradle here change your opinion of what like? Does that change the fact of what you're doing here in any shape or form?
The Guy's Cradle?
Wait, no, actually, it's not dead. You can eat
Yeah, you can eat things in response,
incarnate
and
as
then
well.
it
True.
survives.
So that actually doesn't mean that it is not quite dead yet.
It looks
Good
like
job,
Bailite's
Scooz.
probably going to be able to pull this one out. Although
It does seem so, yes. That's a
you're going
chump
to get
blocker at
yourself a
least.
couple
And it
more
does keep
turns
the
to
Scooz tapped down for additional turns, so that's some time.
giving yourself another turn to look at something. You
Bailite
get 2
find the
more draws.
lands, like they did last game.
So what's probably the best draw on the deck for EVOs?
Apparently not Elgakarov.
Something else that returns a questing beast from the graveyard would be pretty nice, like an Eternal
Yeah, I don't
Witness.
expect this to be playing too many like Eternal Witness effects. Embrace is fine. Not great, but fine. It comes down, it's a 4/4, it is reach, it is trample.
I mean, this goose is only a 6/6. If you find another
It's
thing
also
that
not
has
attacking.
a couple power, it can trade.
But we're gonna have to block this turn.
Or not, because it's tapped.
And even more lands from Bailite. Bailite really just channeling his
This
inner
is a good
Green
draw.
Mage
You
here and
drew
finding
another
lands,
4-power
and lands.
creature.
Yeah,
And one of these
now
has to
able to
survive.
trade with the 1-for-1 with the Scooz here. That might actually put Bailite here on the defensive suddenly. Because I don't think you want to trade your Scouting Goose for a 4/4 or 4/3. What? Oh, I thought we were gonna not play it. Oh,
I think
was
that
scared.
Avius was thinking about attacking first. Again, Bailite, I
With
recommend not
Elemental, yeah, it
drawing
would
a
have been a
land if
great
you want to win
draw.
this game.
True. Look, Bailite, look here, pal. Stop drawing lands, okay? Come on. I thought you knew better than this. You lost. That's how you lost the last game. Clearly, you have not learned.
That is a draw that you can just ignore for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
We are in a weird position though, where Treetop Village isn't a bad one.
Well, if you're gonna draw a
Probably the
land,
best land you could draw here.
see the
Can't think of a
stupid
better
double
land
Hydra.
immediately.
My God,
That is pretty good.
So
Pretty good.
this card doubles each turn.
Yeah.
Sure does.
So we're at a point in the game where
Okay.
that's a card.
Hydra still does force. I guess
You
not
didn't
doesn't for
activate
the fly.
Treetop Village?
Yeah, we can't actually attack with the Hydra. We have to hold back the Hydra as well. Currently, if we don't find the birds, it's jump blocker. Now I'm curious here. Do you just
I think
play
you
the
do
birds
attack
and
with the Hydra.
pass? Yeah, I think you do. I think you like
You have to attack. You have to make some progress.
exactly.
Yeah,
You can't
it
hold that they
trades.
keep finding dead cards continually.
I guess the question is if you're fine with the Hydra dealing 5 damage to Bailite and trading for their 2-drop. But I think at this point it's fine. You're fine with that.
Maybe you have to wait another turn just to see, because the gifted Aetherborn means that they trade, and then you actually are only dealing 3 damage, and you're making the Scooz an 8/8.
Yeah, exactly. The more
Right.
creatures die, the more time you give Scouting Goose to just
And
outgrow you.
actually, it only deals 1 damage because the thing has lifelink.
No, I already counted the lifelink. It goes to 8, then it's -3 because of blocking. Right, 3 because of blocking, and then 2 because of the
Yeah, and then
Scooz,
2
and 2
from the
because of light.
Scooz.
Yeah, so it deals 1 damage. That's just not
Which is
enough.
not enough.
Mystic here, just another Shaman Blogger on the hill side. Yeah. Likewise, I
So
don't think you can reasonably attack with the Aetherborn here either. For the same reasons.
If I'm
You
Bailite,
could.
though, I'm like in no hurry at all.
No, exactly.
oh, you attacked with the Aetherborn. I am so blocking this with a random power creature.
Yeah, probably would like, I think either the Gem Race or, yeah. I think I want to trade here.
Like,
And then,
sure, now your Scooz is an 8/8, but I'm happy trading my Hydra for Scooz. Like, that's okay with me. And now it attacks as a 10/10? Or does it only double the
yeah, no,
counters?
it doesn't, it's just a double counter,
You
so it
double
is a
no,
9/9.
you put counters equal to its power, I believe.
So it
Oh, it doubles counters because it doubles counters on other cards as well, which people forget.
Right.
Technically, we could double the counters on the Scouting Hyena, Ooze, not Hyena. That's
but
No, I
how.
now
think
this has
it's
to trade for 2 things if you try to block it.
yeah, but
And I think that your best way to win is to not block it this turn
If you
and
block
to
it, like
try to
treat
draw
the village
removals.
and Scouting Ooze,
Like,
or
if
is
you
there
draw a
creature we are
removal
we're missing
spell,
here?
you do win the game.
Like there's 2. Is there a 3rd creature we're missing? Because if not,
I'll
this
check.
might lose you the game. Aetherborn, and do you have number 9?
Or still was in the graveyard.
Right. Still in the graveyard. I thought that was X already. Yeah, we trade here. Makes sense.
Sure, but I still
More
think your best
mana.
way to win the game was not to trade. I guess you kind of had to trade, because if you didn't trade there, you're dead next turn.
Yeah.
If the game goes infinitely long, you are still favored. Well,
this Dustwatch
this
Recruiter
Dustwatch,
is a hell of a draw.
it's kind of gross.
Ooh.
Just activate this card,
That's hot.
please.
That is incredibly hot. Like in a sexual
And it
way.
whiffed. For those wondering, it was great and it whiffed.
Well, the card isn't worse by it.
Oh, Plague Engineer does literally nothing on the board. That's hilarious. I mean, it kills one thing, but
It kills the hierarch, which does
I would
it
make
actually.
kills the
Okay,
Hierarch and makes
hot
the
take. I
Dustwatch
kill the Birds
Recruiter
of
one.
Paradise.
I think you kill the Hierarch, 1, because it's giving Exert, and 2, because...
True, but if your opponent finds any way to buff their birds, then suddenly they have evasion.
the
But,
thing
like,
is
that's a
If I
problem for
can't do
another
it.
day.
the hierarch allows the gem raiser to swing past Treetop Village plus Elvish Mystic, which now it
Yeah,
can.
but then you can swing back with like 3 creatures and just force them to block awkwardly.
You also get added benefit of there's going to be more random humans in the deck than birds.
Actually, they can't even block if they attack with the Gem Razor here. For that reason, though, they will probably be Duskwatch Recruitering and such.
You can always
Yeah,
block
let's
with
watch Recruiter.
God
What are we finding?
Eternal. God Eternal Runas.
Sure. That's a 5/5.
And it's a 5/5 that you can continue to get back and then get with the Duskwatch Recruiter.
Yeah,
So it's pretty much a continual creature at this point.
Kinda wish you still had that Scooz now.
Yep. Schools would be great.
Yeah, just attack with his Gem Razor. That's an 8/8 with Vigilance.
You don't think the 2-1 with Vigilance had basically has gotten there.
The 2-1 with the Vigilance that's actively winning you the game.
Yeah. Ooh, Grapple with the Past is a good one for Bailite. What can
You
we
know
get?
what Bailite needs to draw? He needs to draw Metamorphose into Lightning.
No, I need to draw a Siege Rhino.
That
Easy.
also does it.
Think the pack
Oko
does it.
Agent, Murderous Rider. Can you get creature or
You can
land?
get
So
back
you get
Rider,
Murderous Rider.
Rider, Scavenging Acteams.
You can get back Scavenging Ooze.
You can get back Scavenging Ooze. That
I
fixes
feel
your
like
God Eternal
Scoo's too
Dronas
slow
problem.
here. I think you have to take the Murderous Rider here and get rid of something, probably.
You get the Murder Strider, you get rid of Gem Razor. Is that good enough?
Because currently you can only eat like 2 creatures with the Scavenging Ooze, as far as I remember. Actually, maybe 3 because it's the Hydra in the yard.
But the
There's
thing
a
is,
Hydra, there's a Murder Strider,
Yeah,
there's
actually,
an
you know what? You can
Opposition
probably get a pretty
Agent.
big Scoos in retrospect.
That's
It
a
also-
5/5 Scoos.
it also
Yeah,
fits again.
that's pretty big enough.
You need to be able to heal the God Eternal Dronas, or you will get ground by the whole God Eternal Dronas. That's what you're
True,
loop
but
that
God
you
There's
will
Eternal is
summon.
also a
like
Noble
5.
Hierarch in the graveyard, so it's
That's
actually 6/6 Scoos right now.
No, I can't do Noble. There's 2
Noble,
other creatures.
Hydra, Opposition Agent, Murderous Rider. That's 4 creatures.
That's 4. Oh, right, so 2, another 1, you dumbass. I am smart.
This game has been going on for infinite amount of time. This matchup. Why did we let Evios and Bailite play each other? Why did we do this?
It's called Pairings. Heard of them?
He changed
I'm curious
his
to see what-
deck. It
what is
wasn't
built
supposed
here.
to be that bad.
I feel like that's the one creature you
Murderous
should
Rider
kill.
on the Ronus? Or a Swift End on the Ronus? That's the...
Like, I can see the Gem Racer and I can see the Duskwatch Recruiter. I just don't see how this is ever correct. Because now
You can easily just get it back.
Duskwatch Recruiter and get it back.
That's the problem here. I mean, maybe if they get the Ronos back, are they saying they're
do you
lethal
lose
this
if you
turn?
swing with the Gem
This
Racer
isn't
here?
lethal.
Perhaps.
What's
3 attackers, you force triple block.
what am I missing here?
It does
Your
mean that the
birds
Sasquatch
block,
has to block.
but you're
You
bored.
chump. Yeah, but you blocked the
But you're dead. You're
Duskwatch
not
and
dead
the
on
Elvish.
board. Not good.
I don't
You lose
see
your
it.
Treetop, you lose your Elvish Mystic, they lose their Deathwatch and their birds. They get back Ronos, they attack you for 8, you have to block with your Murderous Rider, and then your opponent has a Ronos and a Gem Razor, and you have a Plague Engineer.
I'm pretty sure you're just dead on board.
No, but his the Murderous
Actually, no.
Rider.
Never mind.
No, because
Wait.
you play the Murderous Rider here, and that can you can
Duskwatch is
block
the
this
1/1.
turn. But at the end of the day, you're leaving yourself. Your opponent has a Ronos and a Gem Razor, and you
Duskwatch
have
is
a
the
Plague
1/1. I forget. Actually, no. They can't attack. They're dead on board.
No, it gives Vigilance. Vigilance gives
Oh, true. Yeah,
Vigilance.
they don't have a Death Touch in play. That's right. And they drew a Oof here to block as
They
well.
drew another creature, but it's like I don't understand why you put yourself in this position. I feel like this position just didn't correct to put yourself.
I do agree that Scoots was probably the right card to look for.
I mean, you can get back Murder Strider. Oh my god. Thank you for this collector of getting on the battlefield and playing this game.
Oh my god.
Like, I do think that you could make arguments for getting Murder Strider there, and I would say I could see that
Don't
being
get me wrong,
correct argument.
Battle still good.
But I don't think Murder Stridering the Ronus was the only thing you couldn't do. You could have Murder Stride the other creatures.
Okay, we're not dead. Battle Skull, a big
Sure,
deal.
attack with my 5/5. Say, look, if you want to kill it, you have to throw your other 2 things away.
No,
No,
because
you can
Plague
put one
Engineer
away.
is Death Touch.
Oh wait a second. For some reason I figured that Treetop Village was still in play. I forgot it died.
Treetop died in the attack. Put
Treetop
Ronus
Village died
third
for
from the
our
top.
Yeah. Brahms making a bit of an interesting
Oh,
point here.
okay. Well, this Death Ray Shaman's going to end things rather quickly then.
Is it?
Block with your Gem Razor.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Unless there is exactly a removal spell on top of the library.
Yeah, remove spell or like some weird hasty finisher kind of thing.
I wouldn't use the word quickly when referring to this game. I think that's a little wrong, but it will end the
Well,
game.
I mean, comparing how quickly this game ends in about turns suddenly. Jesus,
Which
Bailite
Death Ray
somehow
Shaman
takes
enters
this
the
home.
battlefield to the point at which Death Ray
Wow.
Shaman ends the game is rather quick.
This was an incredible game. Holy crap. Wow.
I think both players missed multiple opportunities to seal themselves as victors. Overall, I think the game was a fairly good, well-played
Definitely
game.
not an
There's going to
easy
be
game to pilot, admittedly.
mistakes. I think Evios made a very big mistake with that what's it called? The stupid primal mate. But
I think that's probably the best game we've had this season. I'm not gonna lie. Wow, this is a lot. This is a lot. And we're even able to gain some life here as Chrysum.
Just
Well,
in
that's
case.
Death Ray Shaman. Get your
that was
2.
certainly a game. That game took over an hour, so there
Just
was
It's
that.
letting you
If
know.
anyone else is still playing,
So, are there any
Nobody
other
else is still playing.
Is there any back tables still playing? Are you sure?
alas, no. But we will report what we have. We have a 2-1 for Bailite over Evius, Blahguy 2-1 over Brahms, Luca 2-1 over Sparks, Necro 2-0 over Wolfgang, and Stompy getting the bye for this round, bringing him to a total of, I believe, 1-1.
So it
That
is
should
the
be
end of
our
round
round
2.
2. This is only round 2, people. Oh boy. That was a round.
But that was
And yeah,
certainly
it did
around.
take some time, sure as heck.
So
I was
we're gonna
actually
quickly
playing
go through
Nomads in the
now.
tournament yesterday, and we got finished in like record times because people were have some really quick matches. Today it's apparently the opposite.
So if you don't know what we're doing, we're playing Canadian Highlander. It's a format. We play powerful Magic. Pretty much every card in Magic's legal. That's legal in Vintage. There's a point list. If you want to know more, join the Discord. You can use !Discord to find out what our Discord is. We have a website. You can look at our website. We have past tournament results there. We also have our tournament rules and some other information about random things relating to the tournament. Website will get you to our website link. Next event will get you to the next event. Next event, noticeably, we should remind players, is the special qualifier. We will be having it on Saturday until the set of Sunday, and it will be at 1 p.m. EST instead of the normal start time of 12 p.m. So if you want to sign up for the special qualifier, if you win it, then it will be an automatic invite to the finals, and the tournament will most likely be a 3-round Swiss with a cut the top 4. Lastly, Twitch Prime. If you have any Twitch Primes, they should be used on someone. We would love it and appreciate it greatly if you used it on us, but they should go to definitely someone at the very least. Also, I want to thank Blahguy for his Twitch Prime that he subbed in the middle of last round. We may have forgotten about that since last round took a really long time, but he did sub in the middle or more beginning of last round. So thank you, Blahguy. So if you have Twitch Primes, they should go to someone. Make sure you give them to someone. We would very much appreciate if they were us, but they don't have to be. Just make sure they get to someone. With all of that said, let's go to round 3 and move on with this tournament and get
Blahguy
people to
versus
play better.
Bailite is the only 2-0 versus 2-0, so that's
True,
what you're
but I think
watching.
we've seen so much of Bailite in one
If we
round.
want it, I think it's reasonable for us to highlight someone else if we want to highlight someone.
Agreed. I'm trying to see who we haven't featured this round. Luca didn't get a lot of feature. We did see him like first for 5 seconds. Brahms also not been featured this round. I think that's a fine
Wolfgang
option.
versus
They're both 1-1, believe.
Wolfgang versus Sparky, right?
That's also an option. Yeah, I would
Because
say
that's going to
Luca
be a
versus Brahms.
Grixis versus Enchantress game, which I think would be a pretty interesting matchup.
That would be interesting. Yeah, you're right.
And I don't think we've seen any of Wolfgang really today, or not much, and we only saw them Sparky that one game. So this could be a reasonable game to watch. I think would be an interesting game if we want to watch it.
So we're going for Sparks v Wolfgang in the end?
Correct. That is going to be the feature match. I think we're going to prioritize the Luca Brahms matchup afterwards if we get the time for it.
Let's be real here. Do you think Bailite's still going to be playing afterwards?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's rare to not have Bailite game being one of the last ones, and if it is, it's usually because he's up against some sort of aggro.
Blahguy's an aggro deck, so it may end a little quicker than
It
that
might.
stand.
You're right.
Although to be
You know
fair,
what?
I would have kind of said that Evios deck was a little more on the aggro side.
Yeah, it turned out it wasn't nearly. It was better grinding than we gave it credit for. Surprisingly, many planeswalkers will do that for you. And apparently, Karagas, the classic grind card.
Grixis, what will we do with you?
Well, I have more legendary permanents in play, generally speaking. Casting some actual, like, that is a thing. Karagas is a big deal in this format. Like, while I don't expect to see it pointed soon, there has definitely continually been a bit of talk about, well, we'll probably get to a point where we might have to point Karagas, because it's a card that very much is important in this format.
But I think it's good that they aren't pointed. Like Karakas and Wasteland, I think are very good that they're not pointed because they give access to these interaction that you wouldn't have in other decks, like that they don't need, that they're not, wouldn't otherwise have these interactions. And to be fair, neither of the interactions is so absurd that it's like there's
No.
too busted.
But
I'm
I
not
have
talking
heard
about
people
stripping
go,
my
well, I
hand.
shouldn't play this card because Karagas is a thing. Like as the tipping point. Whereas I have yet to hear someone say, well, the reason I'm not playing this non-basic land is due to Wasteland. Like, if anything, it's due to like Blood Moon or similar Price of Progress.
So looking at hands here, we'll see Wolfgang have a Grim Lavamancer, Lightning Bolt, a Braid, Negate, and I think that's a Terminate or a Dreadbolt.
Correct. That is a Terminate.
2 lands. I like this hand from
I don't
Wolfgang
like
at
this
Pairings.
hand nearly as much. A Braid, if you know the matchup, a Braid and Terminate, not that great here. Like,
I mean,
I guess they do have a reasonable amount of creatures actually using, so maybe not that bad.
Like, Desert the Enchanter needs to get hit by a Terminate very fast.
Darks definitely with the greedy side of the bunch here, playing, I believe that's Plowunder, isn't it? And Stud Enchanter. And I'm not sure what the card to the right is actually.
Plowhunter is an amazing card in the Vintage Cube. Highly underrated.
That is Heliod's Pilgrim, the card to the right of Plowhunter.
Makes sense. Just play the tap land first. You have no real place for turn 2 or 3, except like, I guess, Imperial Seal here. Quite a slow hand from Sparks. I think if I know what I'm up against, I would have mulliganed that hand without thinking twice.
I don't know. I don't know why Sparks' hand is flickering.
Me neither.
We just see Grim Lavamancer coming. Get in for that 1 damage. Do you Imperial Seal here? Do you think you should be Imperial Sealing here?
I think it really depends on what you just drew for turn and how scared you are. Like next turn, you have a couple you have lands for the next couple turns at least, so you're able to cast your 4-drops. That's not what you're fearing about.
So I would have probably preferred fetching before I Imperial Seal, but
yeah, no, agreed. Or if you don't fetch this turn, you should have to play on a land at the least.
I also don't hate negating this Imperial Seal, but
well, I prefer casting the Mana League in hand.
Or is that a Mana Leak, not a negate?
It is. Not that you know with that full art.
Look, isn't there a negate full art that's like very similar to that?
Quite possible. I'll admit negate. Not actually familiar with negate art that much.
Can we see a negate full art and see if it's similar?
Working on it.
I need to regig some of my confidence.
Oh, it's the umbrella negate.
Yes, there's one that's reasonable. Yeah, the umbrella.
These are basically the same card.
Basically, I mean, they have the same amount of text, same frame, same cost. Like the only thing that's different is like in the top right, sorry, top left and top and bottom left. That's like the two differences, really.
They're like 6 to 8 characters, you know, that's about the
Oh, and like
same.
it's art slightly.
They both have like the same background, kind of. Like
The
color.
fourth letter is even the same in both names, and the sixth too.
Yeah. So what I'm seeing here, I will admit, Sparks here new to the format. Definitely getting on a greedy brew here, trying to get all of the value out of some Enchantress stuff here.
Although this Enchantress, this Enchantress presence is pretty powerful.
Definitely, I'm pretty sure that's going to see a mana leak here
Oh,
if it comes down.
almost certainly. If this doesn't get mana leaked from Wolfgang, then I need to
Not sure
pull
what
Wolfgang
does.
aside and ask him some very pointed questions at the end of this round.
Yeah. I love the fact that all we've seen is like a 1/1, and yet I guess
Mm.
also Lightning Bolt has gone phase. Yet Sparks is still at 12 currently. Definitely, definitely a lot of pain coming his way. Getting a Tundra here.
Looks like they're going to go with Heliod first, which I think is reasonable. Heliod blocks this.
Yeah.
So I presume you just separate this one. I
They're
don't think
going
it's
to
worth
mana
mana
leak,
leaking, really.
which
Oh,
is
they finally have a
very
leak.
good for Sparks.
Yeah, this deck
Like,
is.
I think if you're Wolfgang, you should know that that was not what they got with Imperial Seal at the very least. I feel like that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, you don't tutor for a tutor. You
No,
only.
for tutor for
No.
tutor.
So that raises the question: was that worth really killing? Was that worth countering?
Well,
The only time you tutor for a tutor is if the tutor you found was the Mystic.
So it is worth
The D.
mentioning
You
that the
you want to
Heliods.
for tutor, yeah, if it's more flexible.
Yeah.
Get something that you. If you want to get an artifact, but the tutor you get cast only gets an instant, then you might find an instant like Worth Invention that can then get your artifact.
It is
But
worth mentioning that the Heliod's Pilgrim did represent like a pretty real threat eventually, because you have Heliod's Pilgrim for Curse of Misfortunes, which will then put an Overwhelming Strength or a Cruel
True,
Reality
but then you
on
mana leak
Wolfgang
that
Cloud.
instead.
Yeah, sure. But then you still end up mana leaking. Like, you might as well use your mana on a turn
Yeah,
when
but
you
mana leak
normally
is done
would.
after that, and like you just wait like a turn. Mana leaking, like you
the
just
problem
continue.
the problem
applying
with mana leaking the second thing is that you still the first thing still the Heliod's program still blocks your Grim Lavamancer in the meantime, right?
Yeah, like now we might just see like a what is it called? The white removal spell here.
Fate's Feathers.
Never mind, we're gonna see an embrace. We're gonna see Shadow's presence here. Embrace. Gonna
That
go
is
just
real
go
bad news for
Grimmir's
Wolfgang.
Encounter. And apparently double creature removal spell, not that great when your opponent's not casting more than a 1/2 that you countered.
So deal 2, and then presumably they're going to discard, and they're probably going to discard this Blahguy would be my guess.
Yeah, I
or
imagine
discard.
Plowhunter or Cirque, both the arguments. So if you really
I don't think you
screw it.
discard the Zerg because you don't know your opponent's leaving up. Like they don't
No.
like they have to have exactly like terminate, right?
We see the land discarded here.
I think the land's reasonable. Next turn you can face feathers this Grim Lavamancer, gain or something like.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I'm
Right.
actually not sure why you don't just attack with a
Mm.
Lavamancer here, save the cost in your yard. I think you wanna get as much
I
damage
would have
as you-
attacked. I would have constantly attacked until they played something to stop me from attacking.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
I can understand you want to activate to try to deal damage as quickly as possible. I don't think it's correct, but I can see it. What is that card?
Isn't that just
By the
Ice
way,
Whisper?
Red Mage, you should probably know that the second coverage account is not muted.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
As Wolfgang did message you with like 6 minutes ago.
I'll fix that. I apologize for that.
Yeah, we're just gonna see here. I do really like this play of just fizzling it. Go for the throat. Choice of removal here from Sparks. Interesting choice considering it's not exactly. I wouldn't call it a top tier removal spell. It's a solid removal spell. Don't get me wrong. But you're playing full colored. I feel like you'd just be playing better removal spells, or at least enchantment based removal spells at that point. That might just be me. I'm not sure.
You see the Brazen Bar bounce the Enchantress presence. It's going to be
Yep.
casted.
I don't think that's not going to end up being too big a deal. Probably going to see the Enchantress presence.
What is the black card in Sparks?
Go for the throat.
Let's go for the
throat. Yeah.
problem of being Brazen Bar you have to deal with from. Well, I guess you have the Go for the Throat that can deal with the Brazen Bar. It's reasonable.
Plus Zerd blocks it.
Also, I think that playing the one, I think you should have Go for the Throat there completely while they're tapped
Agreed.
out. Two, I think that you should have probably also Utopia Sprawl for free.
You couldn't really do that. I believe it has to enchant a forest.
You have an Overgrown too, untap.
Yeah, but you have to tap the Overgrown Tomb then.
That's reasonable. Never mind. You've convinced me.
And I think you're greedy enough to draw the card. I think that's perfectly fine. Finds the Planeswalker here. That's actually really good.
Planeswalker is
depending
draw
on how
card.
hard it is.
Although the unfortunate
Honestly,
thing is you're almost certainly discarding this Terminate. Except if you
depending
draw a land.
depending on how easy it is for Sparks to deal with this Planeswalker couple here, you can just get it to alt, have enough cards in hand, and just win. So what did we? Was it a lamb we saw discarded?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Enchantress
I kind of like
is
Blahguy here. I'm not gonna lie.
Blahguy is pretty strong.
Well, less so when your opponent has a looter, but
less so, yes. But at least that forces them to use the looter to get rid of those lands.
Yeah.
And it also incentivizes them to keep their lands, which I mean they don't know that this Terminate is hand, but these lands may become more important than this Terminate, and you might discard this Terminate, and then Zur is gonna.
Yeah, but Sparks doesn't know any of that.
No,
I would actually like to go up to the blue sources here, if anything. Or just the red sources.
What were the two lands that were chosen?
Here.
Were they just two random lands? Watery Grave and Blood Chief's
I think you want the
yeah, I would have probably done Watery Grave and Volcanic Island.
Yeah, exactly. Or at the very least Island. Volcanic Island is probably what I might have gone with as well. I could have seen that now play as well.
That's right, Shaman.
Not bad.
In conjunction with the Zur, we'll keep this Royal Fire.
At the very least, it's a way. Yeah, it's at least a way to keep Royal Sands in check. And it's still Death Right Shaman, you know. It ain't exactly bad. That would be an understatement. Understatement of the century. You heard it here first, folks. I do really like keeping this land in hand. Like, sure, you. Then again, you're playing Enchantress. So I suppose you just want mana if you just want to chain some land, some cards. But if you draw a land at some point, that doesn't matter, really.
Terminate hits the Zur.
Yeah.
Deathrite Shaman enters the battlefield.
So I believe it is -8 on Royal Sands, am I correct?
Yeah, it is -8.
So if we get it to 8 and we get rid of this Death Shaman, is our plan just to try and set up lethal with it somehow?
No, I'm just immediately drawing 4 with it.
Well, this spell here is not that great. Nor is this Daze either. This is probably worse, honestly.
I'm not trying to get lethal with it. I mean, there's a chance you can, but like I'm just gonna ult.
That's more incidental at this point.
Although now since you fetched, it's just gonna be lethal.
It's if you don't attack it, yes.
Well, the
or have
DRS
life
can...
gain or this or that.
Oh, Paradise Spring? That gain you life?
It doesn't. Wow, that is. Ooh, I'm gonna be honest here.
That's a stretch, in my opinion, but
that is way too much of a stretch. I can get behind the Wolf Willow with like the 2-mana ones.
Oh, Wolfo was
I'm
great.
not big on them. I would prefer to be playing 1-mana dogs. I think that's better. I would also not be playing 4-color Enchantress. I'd probably only be
I
playing
can't
back.
remember, but I may play Wolf Willow in Cradlehook.
No,
Why?
it's too bad.
I doubt it. That seems sketchy. And yeah, we find another land here. That's fine. Just gonna attack the Royal Sands here, presume for 1. Anything else could just end up spelling failure for yourself.
You needed to attack there because the problem's not that you're gonna lose. The problem is that your opponent's gonna draw cards.
Oh no. Do we just say fuck it, draw 8 cards? Draw 4 cards here? We do.
Yeah.
Just say fucking draw 4 cards here.
There's a true name you have to deal
And
with
that's
now.
lethal.
It's not lethal because
Oh, Croxus makes a sacrifice.
it is lethal.
Yeah, like Croxus makes him not discard, definitely take 3.
Is Croxa and Bone Crusher in combination?
Oh, if they gain life, it's not lethal actually. No, it's not lethal then. They find
It
a
is
way.
lethal because Croxa will make them deal them 3.
But now they only take 5 because they use the card in response.
Oh, that's a mistake actually.
Yeah.
Oh, because you did it at that specific
Oh
time. You no longer have
no,
lethal.
Wolfgang!
Oh, okay, come on.
Wolfgang! No, you missed it. Wolfgang, no.
Okay, now just be sad and play your true name Nemesis.
No, play the Croxa and just realize you made a mistake.
No. At this point, it's correct to play true name because Croxa is going to deal the same amount of damage
I do agree.
turn or next turn.
Yeah, and like that's
True name is not going to be dealing damage next turn.
Oh, we play Croxa and keep Spell Pierce up?
I mean, the
Question mark?
argument here is that you play Croxa next
It's a
turn
turn.
now, although
It's not
Death
even
Ray
a turn
Shaman
fast
just
necessarily.
exiled this Croxa.
The Croxa also just gets exiled by death, right?
Yeah. Like I don't like this line play. What?
No. Wolfgang messed this up.
Wolfgang, you're supposed to play Mother Red. You should
First off,
find lethal.
Sparks messed this up by not attacking the stupid Royal Scions. That was
True.
just a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, still,
Wolfgang messed this up by missing lethal. Well, not really missing lethal second time, but missing an optimal way to set up lethal. I better see this. We better see this Death Ray Chomp.
No,
we
you
better see
needed
this
Don't
to
let them
kill
go
option
for
irrelevant
nature.
considering they chose to keep 1 mana up.
They didn't. They let them
Duress.
go to their main
Oh
phase.
no.
Why?
Why would you let your opponent have a Croxa?
Every play that's happened with this
Croxa
Death Ray
and
Chomp has
making
just
this
been
card
wrong.
instead, apparently. For reasons unknown.
But yes, it's the problem with the way Death Ray Shaman works and with the way Flashback and Escape works is the card gets cast and it's no longer in the graveyard when it gets cast. It is on the stack instead of being in the graveyard, and you can no longer exile it with Death Ray Shaman. So if you have a Death Ray Shaman, you need to exile these things. You actually have to exile them before they're able to cast it, not while they are casting it.
And considering it's a land you have in hand, that means you just die anyways. Like,
Yep.
I try to bluff? Like, really? That can't be right. Oh, you had an option. You had an out here. You were not dead. And Enchantress Presence is definitely a way to get back into the game.
Yeah,
like you hadn't lost here by any means.
The thing that Blahguy mentions was what I was kind of saying is that there's a chance that Sparks may not have known how Death Ray Shaman works. Which is why I explained the ruling to stream. Because it is a little bit confusing ruling that you don't realize.
Wolfgang's hand here, not that interesting. Spark's hand here, also, in my opinion, not
There's
great.
a Doomwing Giant though.
True, but that's a 5-mana card, and then, honestly, I guess it kills like some card in Wolfgang's list, but does it do it at a point where it's relevant though? Does it?
It's a Doomwing Giant.
I'm not disagreeing with the statement. Sparks being greedy and keeping a keeping a slow hand here. I once again don't like it. I feel like overall Sparks, again, new to the format. This is nothing new when you try to build for a format you haven't really been prepared for, and you haven't got too much experience with. But this list is it's greedy.
There may have been some budget constraints, like some of these cards may be
That is a real possibility.
concessions to budget. Like I
Right.
imagine Sparks has a lot of these land-based cards because of they play Legacy and stuff. I think they were playing Legacy last time when we raided them.
No, they were
Right,
playing
but
like a constructed format where you like they choose like random sets to build out like 6 random sets are chosen, and then they build
okay.
that in mind.
But
Really
yeah.
good draw though.
Yeah, that Wolf Will Haven is amazing here. It lets you cast probably the Zematic next turn. You may not be sacking anything. You
I
can
imagine,
also just
if I'm in a Wolfgang seat here, I just want to go gas, gas, gas.
Oh, you're playing this Sprite Dragon. Next turn, your thoughts,
Absolutely, and then you're just
your
going
counter spell up, thought scour. Like you're just going pedal to the metal. But yeah, you're playing the Sprite Dragon here.
gas, gas.
No, you're gonna hold up counter spell. That's
Gas.
lame. Come on, Wolfgang, you're no fun. This is great commentary from yours truly. Counterspell up is a
Kyren
reasonable
asking
thing to
us,
do.
pointing out that yes, that is indeed an enigmatic incantation. Incarnation, not incantation. And probably the color we're going to be seeing here, unless there's some interesting draws. Yep. Does allow us to
it's gonna
find
hit
some
the
sort of free
counterspell.
drop if we want to next turn. I think the problem with that is just, oh, we're going to see a counterspell in here? Why did we leave a counterspell? No,
Because they didn't play
Wolfgang,
Sprite Dragon, and they're trying to
why? You
control
played
the
Sprite
board.
Dragon. I mean, to be fair, this is a safe play, but even
Yeah,
if
I
you
don't know.
do
Like
so,
this is definitely
I actually
line
think I
that you
would
can take.
consider, like, now just, man. Like, this card, I'm not gonna lie, Enigmatic Incarnation, really fucking cool card. I love it. But it's also just really clunky. There's a reason why this hasn't really seen play outside of Commander. It's a 4-mana card that first does something on your next untapped. Oh, sorry, instep actually. It's tapped at Bill, I thought it was.
I
But
put
it
that
Yeah,
card
implies
it's
in
you
a
still
Mythic.
have enchantments in play that you then will sacrifice. It's definitely not the card that's I guess it's flexible in some manners.
so
It's
this
flexible in what you
Doomwake
get.
Giant is gonna kill this Terramander next turn.
Can
Sure
you
is.
get it to? Can you get to play the Doomwake and some other enchantment in one turn? Because then you get rid of the Sprite Dragon.
Unless you have a 0-mana
You
enchantment.
could, but I can't think of a manner. Like you have to like draw like one of the enchantments that like asks you a green mana
So,
or
so you
something.
know what card is a real combo with Doomwake Giant? The new Planeswalker, whatever their name.
Oh, Nico
The one that
Aries?
yeah, that makes art enchantment tokens.
Oh yeah, Nico.
Also, we just have a Doomwake Giant, so that's reasonable.
Doing giant, yeah, definitely really good here. Suddenly, like this
Although we
game
have
was just like I was
Ponder
like,
plus Lightning Bolt to just pull in some damage here.
I don't understand why you wouldn't just ponder first. There's no
No,
reason
you
to not
Ponder.
ponder first.
Yeah.
That said, you probably still cast a swamp. In all likelihood, you probably don't want to look for land here, but in case you find a land that's better than a swamp, you probably just play that instead.
There's the reason why you might keep a land is in case you have like a fetch land second. Although
Yeah,
I
like you
guess
have
you're not
something of
drawing
good.
a fetch land then. But yeah, you probably should have pondered before playing a swamp, but it's probably
Nico
not that
Harris.
big of a deal. No, not go for the throat. I want this Doomwake Giant.
I think
You
actually I
think you
just
can
attack
go for
here.
the throat a Doomwake Giant?
I'm perfectly fine attacking here, passing, and just seeing if they cast something I need to mana leak. Like, yeah, 1 damage, sure I could. That
Oh
said,
no, it's not that big of a deal.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't hate bolting here though.
Oh, Zur. How do you feel about Zur?
I feel like this
How much
Doomwake
damage
Giant
do I
might
have
have
again
lead.
next turn? Let's see. I cast mana leak this turn, then I cast go for the throat and bolt. That's 5, 6, 9. I probably
Now,
got a counter
here's a
killing.
question. What's the X spell in their hand? I know what it does, I don't remember the name. But do you cast
That would
that
It's
be
first?
Wargate.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was Wargate, but wanted to make sure. So
I
do you
don't keep
cast
on calling it
Wargate
war.
first to find your Sarah Sanctum, and then cast your Zur?
You can't. You do not have the menace.
Yeah, you do. Zero Sanctum taps for 2.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, actually, no mind. Yep. No, I counted one off. No. No. No, you do. Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
think you have 1 mana to spare.
Why did you not cast the bolt? Why?
Probably correct to cast it there, but you can hold it and just cast it on your.
I
Or
mean,
cast it
at this
on,
point, you decided to play it safe. I think it's
Hmm.
perfectly reasonable to not cast a bolt. That said, that would have been 2 damage over these couple turns. Not sure
Now I
that'd
will
be
say
lethal
this
at this
war
point.
gate can find like an Oving just to take care of the spray dragon.
Attacking for 5 here.
Fate's Feathers, probably, if that's in their deck, would be my guess.
Fate's Feathers is in their
Yeah,
deck.
that's a pretty decent
Do they have
choice.
mana for Fate's Feathers?
Yeah,
They
7.
do. They have Grixis. And this is where the like bolt would have been incredible.
Yeah,
That was
Bolt
already
would bring them down
those mana leak. Oh
to
my god, I can't speak.
3 life. I mean, they mana leaked the Xur, which needed to get mana.
No, I mean, yeah, I would probably go for the
Yeah.
Xur, to be honest.
See, I would have mana leaked the
I would
Xur
have
so I could
left
go
the
for the
Doomwing Giant alive. I don't care. I'm racing you.
Well, the Giant can do some crazy stuff, but the Xur you cannot let attack. If Xur
Yeah, but my
attacks, you
opponent
just die.
does not. My opponent just does not have enough cards in hand, and I have a mana leak. I don't think they're gonna do enough. That's just my take on it. I'm gonna see this Wargate do something good, definitely, that's for sure. I'm not sure what exactly, but something.
Fate's Feathers is the going bet. It looks like they're tapping 6, so maybe
It's
just
definitely a solid choice. But I think you want to find anything here that if you
an
can find something
Oving.
that
The
deep.
one reason why I do like Oving over Fate's Feathers is if they remove the Faith Feathers somehow, like a Brazen Bar or something, they do still have a 5/5. Where if they remove the Oving,
So in a way, I guess in the worst case scenario, it gains more.
If
now
that's in
bound
your
with gold, I would have definitely preferred Faith Feathers.
so
yeah,
if
that just
that's
feels
in
like. I guess you're playing around like days, which you've seen. So I think that's pretty reasonable.
so if that's in your deck, you could have gotten a Prison Realm. Can I get a Scry 1 off of the deal to set up your next play? Unclear if it's in your deck. But if it is.
But yeah, looking at cards like Bound and Gold as well, I'm curious, and this is something we have
Cycle
to ask
this
Sparks afterwards. This
cover.
is like a budget, or this is what I have available kind of concession, or if it's a active choice to play this card.
There's definitely some choices like Bound with Gold and the Paradise Haven that I definitely think are budget slash.
Agreed.
This is what I have concessions.
So we are one off actually here. If we end up fetching here, we're dead. 2 from the Lava as a 3 from the Bolt. I guess we can't
You're
do
also
both
just.
in the same turn.
I guess you're not. Yeah.
Oh,
Making a 2/2.
right. Wolf Willow Haven.
True. I keep forgetting that does anything but make mana. Who's ever done that before as Unlimited? I'm just saying.
Done it many times outside.
I guess I haven't
That-
played Unlimited, so what can I say?
That's something you do in standard, like, relatively
The Terminator.
frequently.
Curious to see what gets done here, because we really need them. Like, Wolfgang wants that red mana to win here. Yeah, just passing seems reasonable.
I wonder if Sparks
Now-
is just playing too many lands in their deck.
Possible. They've drawn a lot of lands.
Yep.
Maybe
sure have.
they talked to Bailite before this tournament, and they both
Apparently.
came up with the strategy of drawing lands.
I mean,
Which working
worked
out
for
for Bailite,
Bailite.
apparently. Bailite's 3-0, 2-1.
Somehow clutched it out, Bailite. Still can't believe that.
Oh, Blahguy got
Okay,
that
just playing.
match. So Blahguy
Blahguy got it, so they're 2-1. Okay.
Creepy Tar Pit. Even more
Keeping
ways
Tar
of
Pit
saying, I'm just gonna
basically
kill
just
you.
ends it. There's lethal in so many different.
Bold Lava Mancer.
I mean,
What is
Enchantress
this card?
Not much.
Is that a Calcitor? No.
Nope, that is a curse of something or another that I can't
Oh, it's a
remember.
Curse of Exhaustion.
That's Exhaustion, yeah, that was the one.
Each player can only cast one spell each turn.
I am
Okay.
very surprised I actually remember that card's
Well,
effect. I don't
I'll
remember his
bolt
name.
you. And then I have a Grim Lavamancer, which was lethal anyways, because I
Are
could have
they
activated.
playing Knowledge Pool? Is that a theme?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you could also just like Lavamancer, untap Lavamancer. Also pretty reasonable choice. In fact, it is a more reasonable choice than you play around a random removal spell now. Admittedly, Tarpet probably winning the game either way then.
Your opponent has no cards in hand after that. You were.
Yeah, and
They
this is
weren't
gonna be
having
a
some
duo.
random removal spell from the middle of their deck. So, is there any other matches going on, or was that the last one?
Yeah.
Stompy
So I think,
and Evious are still going.
I think we saw something in both of Sparks matches here, something pretty consistent that I'm just gonna quickly talk about, and that was that early pressure was something he really had a tough time dealing with there. Like a couple of threats early, and then any form of disruption or just enough pressure early, and he just kind of crumbled.
Okay, the amount of banned cards I see on this battlefield are infinite. There's an Omnath. There's a Skull Clan. There's a Smuggler's Copter. There's a Mana Crypt. There's a Caracas for those Commander fans. There's a Teferi. Like, every spell is banned in this.
Wait, was
deck.
Teferi banned?
It's
Yeah.
been banned in a fair amount of formats recently.
This
Yeah.
one?
The latest ban announcement banned it in some formats.
Not this Teferi.
Yeah, this Teferi.
Oh, is this
Oh no,
Hero
that's Hero of
Dominaria?
Dominaria.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, they basically look exactly the same. Both of
Dude,
them.
not. You're just blind.
Their images are very similar.
Somewhat.
I
Well,
will
not.
say.
The ankle is what gets away.
I will
This is
say.
like the.
I am.
I'm not gonna make that joke.
I am
Ankle.
incredibly disappointed that Sparks has a Curse of Exhaustion in their deck, but there is no Knowledge Pool. Because you can lock your opponent out of playing spells with Curse of Exhaustion and Knowledge Pool. And you can still play one spell per turn, but you don't know what it will be.
Look, if you're playing Focal Enchantress, you might as well go fucking yeehaw.
Well, Knowledge Pool is an artifact, which is kind of...
Also, I feel like it's worth mentioning Stompy's at 40.
Yeah, that's normal.
Omnath.
And a couple of Omnaths, I guess, will do that to you.
Hashtag just Omnath things.
Just Omnath things, indeed. The best part is this is just a Caracas war. Like, who has a better Caracas?
I get to Caracas my Roners. I get to Caracas my Omnath.
Caracas.
Terminus. You don't have Caracas up. Unfortunate.
Caracas.
Maybe we were wrong to blame Bailite for last game. Maybe we should have been blaming Evios for.
Clearly,
since Evios is clearly the one that's getting in these matches.
Ooh, our promise. Okay, what are we gonna see here? Is this actually like
Field
a
of the Dead
and or
Field of the Dead plus
please play
Mitsuba?
Field of the Dead. This
Field
if you're playing
Bazooka.
Out Promise, you have to be playing Field of the Dead here. There's no way.
Field plus Bazooka.
Thank you.
No, you don't get Bazooka. Okay.
Yeah, not that greedy apparently.
You could have also gotten Dark Depths, Thespian Stage, but that's less fun than Field. No, just gonna point this out. Another card that's been banned in formats.
I'm not gonna lie, this still feels like some sort of Scapeshift deck. Like this feels like a 4-color Scapeshift deck that was like, wait, what was my key card again?
Also, it's impressive. It's quite impressive that the amount of lands that Evios has on, that Stompy has on the battlefield is so many different lands that their battlefield is tiny. Because none of them are the same.
Tiny zombie. I mean, usually when you play only one of each card, it's because you're playing like Taint the Pact. But we're an end color, but the ones that allows to play Taint the Pact.
The Teferi died to an attack. If you missed that, the beast token with the vigilance, Aggro, they killed it. So we got a Mana Gorger into 4 Web Weaver. This is interesting. It'd be nice. This Mana Gorger Weaver would be nice if your opponent didn't have to cast any more spells for the rest of the game because they haven't fielded that out.
This is going to be a hard game for Evios to come back from.
Yeah,
I think the key
Evios.
card is going to be called Skull Clamp.
I don't think necessarily Skull Clamp is the only
Uh,
card you need.
Do you
No.
want to hear a bad piece of news?
That this is game
Depends.
0.
This is game 2, and Evios is up 1. So
We might be here for a bit. That's what you're saying.
it might last a while.
And you know what? This is not even. Oh, we're actually missing. This is something we're just gonna have to tell the players. If you give me a moment.
The Chain Lightning is killing the Mana Gorger Hydra.
There we go. Oh nee.
Mystic Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
You know,
Oh,
just
no.
talk about more banned cards. This card's banned in multiple formats.
Now I'm not sure exactly what is in Stompy's graveyard, but I'm surprised by the choice.
Yeah, Chain Lightning seems like an interesting choice to get back, but I guess you get to kill the Smug for sure.
Smug Copter. Ooh.
With a Chain Lightning? How?
It dealt 3.
Yeah, but it's usually not a creature.
Mana Gorger Hydra brewed it before it died.
Oh, well then never mind then. Sorry, I still trying to get Evios to give me his hand. So it kind of only happened. I'm gonna shut up now.
That's fine. Yeah, this
Now,
is a pretty
I don't-
awkward hand from Stompy. Like, yeah, sure, we can keep making zombies. That's incredible. And we have
Does
Spell Pierce
Omnath
to
have
stop
an
like
ETB
making
effect?
expo.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe
There's
it
too
draws
many
card.
words on this card for me to read.
What's the question?
Does
He draws a
Omnath have
card.
an
Oh, can we get
ETB?
Omnath off, please?
Yes, you draw a card.
Oh,
And then
so
his
Croc is
landfall
just
triggers
drawing
are
cards.
you gain some life, then you add some mana, and then you do something, I think. I have never cast
You
this card.
gain life,
I've
add
cast-
mana, and then I believe you deal opponent damage.
That's probably right.
And older planeswalkers.
Yeah, deal 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control.
Oh, even the planeswalkers? Oh boy.
I had a conversation recently with someone, and we were talking about the recent printing of cards, and like a lot of these cards that printed are just unreasonable. Like Oko and Euro, they're just unreasonable. Sorry, Oko is like Oko. What was another one? Once Upon a Time. These are just cards that like should never have been
Are you
printed.
ready to see
Like,
Spell Pierce do its thing, perhaps?
that would be really sad.
Because that's a Finale of Devastation. That's the last card in Evios' hand.
This
They
spell.
forget to play around Spell Pierce here.
Yeah, this
That's
spell
gonna
pierce
be.
is
That's gonna be. Oh no! No! No!
Oh, spell pierce. Seriously.
Spell Pierce scores the value.
I will say. I would say that if I get to
No,
cast Enchantress.
Resolved? What? What?
Is it actually resolving or is
What?
well, they got us run.
Um.
Weird.
This Tridome definitely makes blue mana.
Yeah.
It does. It's the rock one.
Yep. Eldamri's call. Primeval
Blah
Thing.
and Luke have both going. It's possible that Stompy just does care, and Stompy is known not to care. I'm curious to see what. Yeah. Do we play a tutor just to get Titan and such? I feel just happy though, I'm not gonna lie.
Are you just gonna get like
Hmm.
Dark Depths?
I feel like if that was the plan, that's something we would have done earlier. I don't even think we're playing out there. Just Wasteland and something else out. This feels like, honestly, if you're asking me a tad bit play land stake, that's like just not getting greedy enough with his lands options.
Like, there's no Keswick Wolf Run here. Like, Keswick Wolf Run is great.
Well,
Keswick Wolf is not sure what I'm sure I would be playing to be on the
can't
other hand.
really afford to play that many colorless lands in your 4-color control deck. Just putting that out there.
Play 50 lands. It's
You're
fine.
playing a land stake. You're fine.
Wait, you're playing a Narset? Play Gaia Reach Sanctum. Lock your opponent out from the game.
Okay, that's probably a tad bit too greedy. But what was this spell period? So no, I just want to I want to somehow see Stompy lose this game just because of that.
Well, there was a concession.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Now, if I get...
Well, I think they're just starting up a new game for time reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
would believe so. They haven't yet, but I assume they will.
That seems like the most reasonable line of events. I don't think they just went, Stompy concedes, GG, move on. Also, I do
Unless...
believe it's not pre-tournament banter anymore. I'm just gonna make a educated guess here and say that is not the case anymore.
You know what?
Yeah, indeed, we are in fact going to game 3 probably. Good news is, if Evis has enough of an aggressive start, we might not have to wait another hour.
Yeah, nobody's starting
No.
a game. I wonder if I was wrong and the
I
other
will contact
person was.
them if you are
Let
not doing
me
that.
I'm just
see
gonna
if they've
see if
reported.
they reported. Yeah.
They have not reported yet.
No, they absolutely have. Stompy 1210.
So the score was incorrect.
Yeah, they reported incorrect score or whatever.
That was game 3 for everyone.
Thank God.
Rejoice.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
As my opponent
No,
said yesterday when I played them, happy dance time.
have you what?
Happy dance.
Ah, yes, this is indeed what I heard.
No,
I don't know.
we'll get
Happy
to
dance.
see if Blahguy defends his 3-0 against Wolfgang Cloud, I think. Against, Luca.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Wolfgang has gone 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, you know.
So speaking of which, yeah, I was
Let's
gonna
look
say
at
we should probably
Blahguy.
let everyone know that round 3 pairing is up.
Round 4
Round 4 pairings, but yes. Blahguy, I assume we're gonna watch Blahguy try to defend his title and his honor. And if he doesn't, then he will forever be known as Blahguy who did not defend his honor. No pressure or anything, Blahguy. It's fine.
They are setting things.
Wolfgang
up.
and I feel like I'm getting someone except I can't remember who. Let's see, Stompy. Considering how many people aren't currently in our booth, we're just giving them the knowledge they need to know to start a new game with their opponents. It does seem that a fair bit of people, of course, are in chat, so that helps.
So,
So
did they
we
not
should know
post the pairings or something?
Pairings are up.
Okay.
We have Bailite versus Wolfgang, Blahguy versus Luca, as we mentioned. That will be a feature match. Sparks getting the bye here. Evius and Brahms will be battling it out. And then we have Stompy and Necropotence.
Yeah, while we
our
wait
final
for
match.
the match to start, since we have
Turns out Necropotence not going 4-0 once again.
No, yeah, I
For
know,
the third
right?
week in a row.
No, I just
2-1
wanted,
for now, though.
since
Still doing
we...
good.
While we wait for the round to start, and for Luha to join Blahguy. I just wanted to ask, since we have Sparks in chat, I was going to ask them if they're around, if they have any.
I don't believe they're in chat.
Oh, unfortunate.
Not in, at least not in.
Well, I was going to ask them what they thought of the event, but
I would probably recommend doing that in the tournament discussion, if anything.
They appear to be in.
Oh, they are in the booth. That's what you meant.
Yeah, they're in the booth. That's what I was saying. It's
pardon.
okay.
I thought you meant in the Twitch chat.
No. I meant, yeah. You know, I was going to the interview segment, but it's not happening.
If you feel like that is, of course.
Did you want to talk to me?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Since we have a couple of minutes of setup while we're waiting for the next game, I just wanted to ask, you're new to the tournament. What did you think of that?
I had a blast. I've been telling some people already. I like the format's really interesting. I think I have to spend a lot of time looking at it to figure out what I can do better, especially since I picked Enchantress, which seems like an archetype that a lot of fiddling. But the thing that I like the most is how incredibly kind and nice everybody's been, which is not all that common in competitive card games.
I recommend not reading. I recommend not listening too carefully to the play back the Twitch stream.
Oh, that's okay. I make some bad plays.
Let's just say I have a tendency to be I think I'm known as the mean one around here.
Well, look, constructive criticism of play lines isn't really bad. Like that's how you grow as a player. And I'm quite a punter. I do it a lot. And so there's nothing wrong with that. But what I mean is just in my matches, everybody I've played with, they've jumped in voice chat with me. They've been really welcoming. Like it's felt good. So I'm having a great time and I'm looking forward to hear.
Good to hear from you, man. But yeah, maybe just some quick feedback from our end, considering I think we have the match.
Yeah, we do have the match.
Okay, we can continue. We'll talk later if you want to.
Yeah, we can continue.
Now we have the Blahguy camera. We are waiting to get the Luca camera ready and going as well. In the background.
Gosmid, if you want to continue what you were saying, I think we can continue talking about that and get to the match a little late. That's fine.
It does seem so. Yeah, I think I wanted to Sparks. Just maybe a heads up. I think you noticed it yourself in your games, and that is your deck seems slow. I think that's the big.
Slow.
It like you look at it and you're like, oh, you have to play 100 cards. You have to play some pretty bad cards, and to some degree, true. But it is definitely like it is vintage in a manner.
Oh yes.
You get to play some powerful cards and do some powerful things.
Yeah, there were certainly a couple cards that we were wondering whether they were budget or like these are just cards that I had on hand, concessions. Like Paradise Springs was one, and like Bound and Gold was another. Where like these cards are interesting.
Bound and Gold. I think Bound and Gold is actually really in Enchantress. So just because you can enchant permanent with it, obviously there's a lot of things I can do to make the deck more powerful. But I'm playing with a couple of tutors because I want my game plan for this. I wanted to do something weird, and my game plan was to try to win with Curse of Misfortunes. So you get a couple of cards that can search for auras. Yeah, right? Right? And so since you can search for auras, I put Bound and Gold in there as an answer that was flexible against manlands, planeswalkers, creatures, and any other problematic permanent with an activated ability. I don't know how good it ended up being, but that was the logic of putting it in there. So, we'll see.
We were thinking, we came to the conclusion that in the spot where we saw the Bound and Gold, probably the best possible card you could have found in that scenario was specifically Prison Realm, because it would have gotten rid of the problematic permanent, and also you would have gotten to scry one, but also that's probably not in your deck, because it's not the best card in the world.
No, yeah, Prison Realm would actually be good, giving you selection and exile. But another one of the, I play Bound and Gold over some of those exile effects, because sometimes the ETB, if they deal with the enchantment, is worse than just having the ability to attack. So
I hate to be the ruin of fun, but we actually do have a match on the way currently.
Okay. Thanks for chatting with me, guys.
Absolutely.
I had a great time.
Thanks for joining. I'm glad you had a great time.
It's always great to introduce new people.
And the last
Yeah,
thing I'll
looking at
say
map
before we let you leave is that if you do need deck help, there's a lot of people on the Discord that helps. And I believe Loman has a big archetype of all of these different decks archetypes
And
that
this
you
is
can
not
look at.
just for Sparks here. That is for anyone in chat who's like,
Yeah,
this is
Loman
actually
has like
interesting and
if
format
you've
and with
thought
a
of
lot
the
of nice
deck,
people.
Loman probably has the deck in his
Yeah, or
Probably
will
has
at least
played
help you build
50
one.
matches with it somehow.
So
I want to play
Loman's a
these
great
5 random
resource if
cards.
you need to
No,
talk
man,
to.
I already built that.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying Crawlworm. If you want to play Crawlworm, maybe you should play Command instead.
Loman used to play old school. That card might
Or old
actually
school.
be playable.
I don't know. Either way, I think we should focus on the match here for a second. So we do have a solid 1-drop into 1-drop play here. Just John Aggro. Just see who carves out better. If you're in Lucas' position here, do you want to get a 2-drop down or just straight up abrade something here?
I like this volcanic brawler. I don't think you need to abrade yet.
No, I do agree with that. Fetch hand off the top, please. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Swing into
Blahguy.
5, smash some face. And then
Definitely
even
see an
the
attack here.
Gaul clan Rampager and yeah, fetch land would be pretty stupid here.
Yeah, Fetchland is
I think that's a
not
total
bad.
of 12 points of damage if you find a fetch land here. Specifically a green or red fetch land here.
Looks like
Which
they're
is
gonna hold up a
pretty
braid
much all.
though, so Fetchland ain't gonna save that person. That
Well,
ain't gonna save
Aggro
the call.
would disagree on you with you on that one.
I loved when in plain standard you go turn 2 brush fire elemental, turn 2 brush fire elemental, play and crack
Oh, we're
my
gonna take Gaul clan
fabled
Rampager,
passage.
just get him. Oh. Going on a
We're gonna see
rampage.
an braid here. That's we're not gonna see an braid.
Oh. Playing it safe, playing around the pump spells.
You like dealing your opponent 10 damage on turn 2. It's
Yeah,
reasonable.
Yeah,
it's
also I
pretty
don't
good.
think it's a 1-0, just for reference, Red Mage.
Huh?
I don't think it's a 1-0. Yeah, thank you. Lovely. I was just pointing out that there was something I hadn't fixed yet. That was all.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. If you had
I
said
Cortisol
one of
wins
these
the
now at
last
players
this
had
point,
won
I think
already,
at this
I
point you
wouldn't be
have to
that
upgrade.
shocked.
Now you have to upgrade. Anything else is too slow.
Oh, you have to upgrade now because you didn't do anything. You didn't develop your board last turn. You have to choose something on this destroy the kill.
Yeah, and I presume I can still use Scrappy Scrounger, but I think the Brush Fire Elemental.
I would probably hit the Scrap Heat Scrounger here for the only reason that my opponent didn't show me a land last turn.
True.
And I'll
I
get
guess it's a
greedy.
question of am I more afraid of the potential of damage or the guaranteedness of damage?
Mm.
Yes, that is a word now. Shut up. Also, if you do kill the Scrappy Scrounger, how do you kill it? Destroy
You
artifact?
destroy artifact.
Just
that is
play
the
around the
correct thing.
mutagen growth?
Yeah, there's no reason not to. If you're dealing damage, you choose a brush file elemental. If you're destroying artifact, you choose a Scrap Heat Scrounger.
Agreed.
This is incorrect, Luca. You could have gotten
Oh
blown
man,
up. You didn't.
can't tell you how many times I've cast the mutagen growth and just been like, oh, you forgot about this card.
So we see
Just
land.
reveled. Not sure why you wouldn't play the Stomping Ground tapped here.
So you can pump.
I guess that's an option. And then maybe go for like double 2-drop next turn.
Yeah, this seems fine. This seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Um,
Since you're 1-2 into 2-3, which is really nice in the sports state here.
I do. This is interesting. There's nothing. Blahguy's lands are just dealing him so much damage that it's not great.
Like, randomly Scrappy Scrounger attack Giant Growth is a real option here.
It's an option. It doesn't feel good, but I think it's your best option.
That or just play the zombie and then Giant Growth. I think you're Giant Growthing either way. Like, Gong Clan Rapture Pager is better to keep for when
You
you
could defensively Giant Growth. Like you could Giant Growth your Better Bones to block the.
Yeah, I just don't see that. I feel like we're currently ahead in the race. somewhat, with like all the combat tricks we have in hand. I feel like we can raise here. Like we do take damage off of each spell we cast, which is a severe downside.
Like you're going to 10 by casting 2 spells this turn. They
Yeah.
go to
Even more so if you cast Reanimate.
6.
Like that is
They
going
go
up.
to 8. Then they get to attack you back for at
The
least
thing is, if you do
5
block
next
with a
turn.
Giant Growth,
going
that
to
means
3.
that they will just pump, presumably. And
But
that's,
if you keep Giant Growth around on your Gutter Bones and they pump, then I guess it's +3/+3. It's you don't get the kill.
turning
That's
it to
fine.
5/6 and Depth Touch for that sake as well.
Mhm.
Though that's less relevant, admittedly.
The other thing you could do this turn is you could Blood Rush instead of Giant Growth, right? It's Blood Rush, that's the ability.
Yeah. I think I just like getting the creature down better here, personally. Though I could see their arguments being.
They
for
do Blood
either way.
Rush here, bringing them down
Yep.
to 7.
That does not currently set up lethal, but a land should do it at this point.
A
Equivalent.
land, if they have blockers, is not lethal.
Without blockers, it is. This is what I like keeping a Gore Clan Rampager. Partly, though we do have the
So this is a very telling turn here.
Yeah.
He looks like he's gonna just play 2 creatures, so it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I don't like playing the Vengeful here. You have to take 2 damage to do it, and doing it means that you're going fuck it, I'm attacking with everything. Don't kill me, please. Which seems highly sketchy. I mean, I could even see just not attacking here, but I think that might be a tad bit too
You
defensive.
attack with your 2/3. That you
Yeah.
attack with. I don't see a reason not to.
Well, it blocks the 2/3 efficiently at 2/1 without like trading.
You still
the
need to get
primary.
him damage.
Oof.
A land here. Oh, that fetch land, I believe, is pretty close to just being lethal.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that actually, what is it? The Brushfire can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less?
2 or less.
2 or
It's 2 or
less.
less. So they
both
can make
creatures
one of these
attack it.
things not be able to block. I guess Luca goes to exactly
Yeah,
1
this is
and
one
loses.
thing. Like the Trample here would have done it, where the this is why I kind of like keeping the Trample about. And going with a Giant Growth and 1-drop instead. Like, yeah, they'd be at 8, but then it'd be it pretty dead this turn, presumably.
They play the land, they fetch. They just make their idiot a 5/5.
Do we just get back Gorklam Rampager? Is that too greedy?
So what I think you actually do is I think you play and fetch your land pre-combat,
That
and you
makes
attack.
sense.
And you let them go to blocks. I don't think you cast anything pre-combat. I think you just play the land and attack.
No, I agree. Question is, I think the real question is, do you reanimate here or do you
War
just?
Clan actually have haste.
Yes. Oh no, Gorklam Rampager. No, I was thinking of the other one.
Necropotence.
Yeah, Aggro Crasher, correct. Can't remember the name.
Just attack here, see what happens.
Uncrump does mean you can get them to 2, but then you're probably dead on the swing.
But you're probably dead on the crackback. I
Correction,
don't think
you
you
are
can
dead on the swing back if you do
right
that.
now. I think you attack, and if they don't block, they're probably dead. I mean, if they don't block, they're dead. If they block
I
only
think
one
you play
thing.
the Aggro Crasher, you swing with the Crasher and the Brushfire. Force
No,
one of the creatures to... No, that's not good either.
These on-card because then they are left with 2 creatures back, and it's.
Yeah,
I think you just attack here. I think
that.
you attack with both creatures. I do think you attack with Gutter Bones because if they block just the Gutter Bones, then it's lethal. And then I think post combat, what
make
you're doing is
yeah.
you're going to
No, actually, I
reanimate
kind of like that
something.
play, mostly for the mind games of it.
You attack with everything. You give your opponent the chance to mess up by blocking Gutter Bones.
Or more precisely, by not blocking the brush fire.
Yeah, you can block both.
If you want to, you can even double block the brush fire, but I think that's just incorrect.
It will kill it.
Like, the thing is, I think you have to block the brush fire here anyway. It's like, yeah, but you probably don't expect a bolt at this point. Bolt will probably have been cast already. And you know they top deck the land this turn, because they were casted earlier if they had it.
Here, I like fetching. Then I like playing Giant Growth on the Gutter Bones. And reanimating something from your graveyard.
You could reanimate the Gorkland Rampager. It's a 4/4 trample. Could do worse.
Yeah.
You go to 3 life, which is kind of scary.
I mean, you reanimate something in order to have a blocker around. I don't care what you're reanimating, but it's basically you want a blocker around next turn.
Yeah,
Well,
I
then
think either you play the Aggro Crasher and you hope like they just don't have too much.
Yeah, so it can't be the Scrounger because that can't block.
No, but your choices are either this Voltaic Brawler or the thing in your graveyard.
Right, you can reanimate your opponent's stuff.
Now, do we Giant Growth here to keep our 2-1 alive?
I do think you Giant Growth here because you're basically. I also like Giant Growthing, and then casting this Wanderer as well, Dread Wanderer.
Yeah, I think the Dread Wanderer is a
just like play as many creatures.
given.
Be like, look, I'm giving you one turn to have exactly the spells
Agree.
you need to kill me. Otherwise, I will kill you next turn. This method, I can see an opponent being able to assemble a board where they're not dead.
I'm trying to consider if just taking the Voltaic Brawler here and just taking a tap it less is worth it. This is like
I don't hate taking the Brawler here. I do think you need to play the Dread.
I agree.
I think he's planning to get back Scrap Heap. It's more mana efficient.
Yeah. No, actually,
That's
I don't hate
reasonable.
that. I don't hate that either.
That's fine.
So you chop block, you get back Scrap Heap, you have lethal with your Giant Growth. Perfectly fair, because playing attack creature here is not that great again.
No, I just liked playing. I liked keeping your other idiot alive and then having the Wanderer around, so you just had more creatures. And be like, look, I have like 4 creatures on the battlefield, and I'm gonna play On-Crop Crasher next turn. Because regardless, you're gonna be dead to Bolt. However you play this, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, I don't think there's a way you can play this where you're not dead to Bolt. And so
that's probably a way you can play where you're not dead to Bolt, but then you put yourself in a position where just
I don't think you're winning that game because you're
it.
gonna have to cast spells next turn anyway.
Yep. Like currently you're not dead to Bolt. But you're gonna be in a real bad position if they have it. Hello?
So Luca here can
I think
cast
I just cut out on my end.
Vengevine. And then probably...
He doesn't have mana.
Yeah, no, we don't have double green unless you want to play the untapped Overgrown, which they inclined to not do here.
Oh.
So that puts them in a
They're
very
just dead on
position.
board. Yeah. Luca is dead on board now.
Yeah.
You play your On-Crop Crasher.
They don't quite know it yet.
Yeah, I mean, they're not that on board, but they're dead.
Well,
exactly.
Are they even? They might be dead on board. You play Scrap Heat Scoundrel, then you have to block. Oh, this attack definitely means they're dead on board.
Oh, yeah, now that there's...
Well, no, actually it doesn't.
Once
because
again,
they have to
because
block
the guys
this.
Once
They
again,
have
not
to
knowingly
block.
dead on board, but they are actually dead on board.
No,
Can't
because you have to
block
block
here.
this.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a forest block. Otherwise, so the attack was correct, I think.
And either you Giant Growth and try and keep it alive, though that doesn't work with Stiff Touch, and it's too big.
No,
Or you just get back to creature
you
here,
just-
Giant Growth.
this is
or
fine. This
Dragon.
idiot dies. You get back Scrap Hero Scrounger. You play your on-top Crasher, and it's lethal.
And then you just laugh all the way to the finish line. Yep. Like, you're putting
Yeah.
yourself in a position right now where you die to literally any land for the first part.
Yeah.
And if any haster, probably also kills you. Any combat trick kills you.
Cards or combination of cards from
They have to basically just have
Blahguy
tap
that you
creatures
can
without haste or something. That's about it.
like. There's very few combination of cards that Blahguy can have that means you're still alive here, which
Yeah.
I don't particularly like this line of play for that reason.
Yeah, the question is, can you do better?
I feel like
think
either
you
way you have to
shock
just
in
go
and you play
Vengefire
the
and just go.
Vengefire untapped.
Ooh, I think casting this Dismember for 4 mana is a great idea.
So what you can do with this Dismember is you can tap and pay 2 life by tapping black mana and then tapping red mana from your 2 pain land. And then you can pay another 2 life to the Phyrexian mana. And then
So
you're
the
doing
thing is, you can't actually I don't think you can do that. You're the judge here. Can you actually go to -6 by casting Dismember here?
No, I'm not saying you go to
Sorry,
negatives.
-2, sorry, not 6.
Negatives. I'm not saying you go to -2. I'm just saying that you pay exactly 4 life.
Yeah, you can go to 0. You cannot go to negatives. You can only pay the life that you have, but
No, exactly.
you're asking to pay for
Yeah.
life. Then
Yeah,
you have
I'm
for
saying-
I
life.
don't believe the waste pays it deals damage. That's why I'm asking. Could you go to negative this way, technically? Or do you? I guess you pay first. You
No,
you
you
take
pay
damage
at
first.
the
Or something?
end.
I don't know.
So
Either way,
The waste will deal
Blahguy
1 damage.
picking
to
up
you.
the
You
game
could do
here.
it.
the waste deal damage to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh. No, you cannot. Because of the way spells are cast. I'll talk about this later, but
Ooh, that is a Berserk hand from Maduka there. And the Berserk Mox hand even. I really like. Me like.
I'm just gonna play this
Not play Putrid Leech.
Dark Confidant turn 1. Yeah, I do like playing the Putrid Imp and then playing the Dark Confidant. Although, yeah.
Although, yeah, I guess if you get a Green Souls, having the fetch for the like.
Tireless Tracker. But like you need to draw though for that to happen. So
Agreed.
I just think you do the current play, what you're doing.
Is
2
it
lands.
London?
Okay, sure.
Is it London Undiscovered Paradise?
Yes.
So I'm actually going to ask you something here. We have a kind of mirror match between 2 John Necro decks. What do you think about the way we've seen Luca and Blahguy go about this build respectively?
So Luca seems to be more bigger. Blahguy seems to have more pump spells, from what I can tell. Again, I don't know their whole deck list, but they do seem to be built relatively similar. I imagine most of these. I have seen a lot of pump spells from Blahguy, so I don't know if Luca's playing all these pump spells.
I mean, I think the only pump spells I've seen from Luca is actually Berserk. And I don't remember seeing many others. I think that's Blahguy actually choosing primarily to do that.
In this specific matchup, I kind of like the hand that has the I kind of like the deck that goes a little bigger.
Yeah.
Generally.
But I will point out the fact that the pump spells can just allow you to get it quick out
The
of
pump
nowhere.
spells are quite good in the matchup though.
Please don't fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm definitely just.
So do you discard here to get like an additional effect out of it?
Yeah, I don't think I want my 4th land. I'll discard this Undiscovered Paradise to drain for 2. I think draining is perfectly fine. I don't think I want to look at their hand though, because
Yeah,
it's too.
Brahms was just interesting here. I presume that's what you're responding to.
I don't think the duress is actually that good though, because there's a very good chance that you actually win. The draining 2 is a 4-point life swing in this matchup, which is quite important.
We do see the discard here, which
Yeah.
honestly,
I
the
mean,
Berserk
it did a
isn't that
good.
great.
The discard here was quite good because it hit the berserk. I'm still not sure if it's correct over
I don't
the.
think Berserk is that,
training.
like, with the way Lucas is currently looking, that great. It might end up being really good, but currently it's not that insane. What are we reanimating here? What are you going for? Like, Titus track, I suppose? But, like, the problem is, I guess you're just playing a 2-drop and then a tapped land here.
Well, you can play. Well, you could have played your fetch land, right?
Mm.
Another thing I feel like differences is that Blahguy feels like he's gone way more for, like, raw stats than Luca has, for example. Also
Yeah.
indicate, like, the set with the pump spells, but also, like, just something like, just a turn 2 free, a turn 1 2 free.
Yeah.
Whereas
Bird
Luca,
eight.
like, yeah, they have more silent visitors, more tireless strikers, more bobs. Like, they're willing to have more, like, ways of grinding against, like, a control deck and such. Whereas Blahguy just goes, I'm gonna kill ya.
Yeah.
In the
I
moment,
think playing this
you will no
goblin guy
longer be
here
alive.
quite strong. Also, I think actually playing the Zert Tug Goblin, whatever it's called, and holding up this brute force is good as well.
Seems perfectly reasonable.
Honestly, you could just go
I
Goblin
could even
Guide
just,
and
yeah,
Zert
I
Tug.
can just, I'm not against just slamming both goblins here, swinging in.
Mm.
Like, this Dark Confident ain't free.
Yeah, and the Tireless
Just like,
Tracker.
just go, you wanna block?
Do you really want to
I mean,
block
your
the
Tireless
Tireless?
Tracker is gonna go bigger, so that's perhaps not something you want to do. And I guess you're probably gonna block with this as
Okay,
Iron
I
Visitor.
don't like going into combat and attacking with just the two things.
That tells me you want to play. That tells me you want to brute strength and
Make
then
your
play
idiot a
a 3/3 here.
3/3, which I don't. It's
I'm
fine,
not
but I
impressed
don't
by this.
think I
Problem
truly
is, this
like it.
Tireless Tracker is gonna win the game eventually, alongside Bob here. Like, they are not running out of cards. You are, however. So your hope is that that Dark Confident kills them eventually.
Hey, let's hope this Dark Confidant Swamp. Yay, you're doing its job, Dark
Again,
Confidant.
not dying, not dying. I could actually just see you, like, I wouldn't be against playing the fetch land here.
Oh,
Like,
I
you,
want to play this fetch line. Definitely get the
yeah,
clues.
because you, I guess, yeah, you want the green souls to cast the creatures here. That, or you just want to tap land and you want to, like, clue. I think the question is, do you want to activate a clue here, or do you want to cast a 2-drop? Additional 2-drop.
Oh
Really?
wow, the Grim Flare is already a 4.
Oh boy.
No work
Again,
necessary.
Blahguy, I feel like just getting punished for not being all in enough here on Aggro. Like, suddenly Goblin
I
Guy,
mean, the
pretty
draws,
weak.
Lucas' draws were very good this past turn.
Yes,
They hit
like, this is
Grim
what we're
Flare
saying,
and then
like,
land. I do think you should have gone for the more aggressive approach of playing both goblins and attacking and being like, I'll trade my 3/1, your 3/1 for my 2, and get in for 4. That will bring you down to 9. Now, dude, now this Dark Confidant is to hopefully get some work done. I am not blocking this Dark Confidant. It's the only way I have a chance of winning the game at this point is the Dark Confidant down 5, 6. And now block I block.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like blocking here.
No, I don't either. I think you have to have the Dark Confidant hit a 3-drop into a 2 or 3-drop for you to have a chance of winning the
That,
game.
I like think that or Passive Progress, which I don't think Blahguy is probably. I guess they might use that as a last point, probably like 3 boxes price for both players, I could imagine. If Red Mage knows what they're on points wise, that would be lovely to know.
Excuse me?
Do you know what they are, our players are running points wise?
Oh yeah, I can find it out. I'm assuming probably a bunch of mocks and then some other stuff, but I'll give you the thing. So, who do we have here? Blahguy is on Mox Jet, Mox Ruby, Mox Emerald. So far, no particular surprises, and Pop. Pop's the last point.
Yep, makes sense. And Luca?
Luca, on the other hand, is on 3 Moxen as well. And the last point is...
My guess is if it does Price of Progress, then it's probably like Mind Twist.
it's neither
That's
of
pretty
those
annoying.
things. So it might take me another second to find.
It might be 29 points as well.
They might be playing 9 points. I'll get back to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this is a solid turn. Just play 2/2 drops, crag a clue here. Like, you're winning this game. You're so far ahead. That said, I don't like attacking here though. I feel like we're discarding them out.
I
Clues.
think
Like
you can
they
attack
didn't
with
dare
the,
attack.
you
We're
can
winning
attack with
by
the
playing clues.
tracker.
I think it's
I don't
perfectly
think
fine just not attacking even at all.
attacking with the tracker means that you have to triple block it.
That is true, but you only trade for 2 of them.
Yeah,
Either way.
but also forces your opponent not to make the mistake of double blocking it and feeling awful. But also,
Correct.
it's like Blahguy has 1 card in hand, right? He has 3 creatures on board. None of these are particularly big. If you trade the tracker for 2 of these cards, do you think that they're going to be able to come back into this game?
No, you're right. Like, you're not lagging, but I guess I'm just being greedy here. I want all the clues.
We also see no blocks by Blahguy. Blahguy has done
So
the assessment and
you
been
play the
moving his
Putrid
board.
Mage here for sure. That's just a great blocker. But do you play the Robber or do you just want to crack a clue here?
I play both. I can crack clues next turn. I can't attack with these cards next turn. I guess I could attack with next turn.
Yet another 1 mana, 2/3.
So after
These 1 mana 2.
after checking, I noticed that Luca has just run in 2 points. Though his deck is set up to run Tainted Pact, although he's not running Tainted Pact.
Oh yeah, Tainted Pact would be a really decent inclusion, I think, specifically in Lucas' deck. Not sure I'd love in Blahguy, but I can see it in Lucas. I think Lucas can go like slowly enough, grind out sometimes.
Oh, I think it might probably be correct to not run it. But just saying that his deck is set up to run.
I'm not sure. I think it might actually be completely reasonable. Like, has Luca gone away from the 1-drops a lot? Because I don't feel like I'm seeing any like these last couple of games. We saw like
Lightning
one last
Skelemental.
game.
You can't do this to Blahguy. You can't Lightning Skelemental Blahguy.
Do we just win here? Do we just like swing and just go, yeah, you're gonna die, friend? Oh, we have our own card here.
You have 6,
Booster
you have
8
10
now, baby.
trample, you have a 6/4. I don't think that it's necessarily lethal, but I
it's
don't
like,
think you're gonna have a
you're
board
gonna have
after.
to do some chomping here, my friend Dio. Things ain't looking good, pal boy. I don't get why you would play the Kurdip before tagging, admittedly.
Yeah, I wouldn't have played the credit before attacking just in case I need to crack the clue for some weird reason.
So it's presuming they don't block the Lightning Skelemental here for now. They block the Tireless Striker somehow, jump. You block the
so
Putrid.
they double block the.
I mean, you just
the
die
Grim
block like
Flare.
this, pretty much.
Then
Not
you
like
have
literally
to
die, but
chomp
like
the other.
yeah, that makes better sense.
Now you have to chomp the other 2.
You have to jump no matter what, sadly. Like, you're just so far behind. You've been behind for
But I just
a
concede.
good while.
I don't
Yeah,
even
no,
think Price of well.
Yeah, Price of
Well-
Progress doesn't even do it. Actually, Price of Progress probably kills you.
Well, it could
This
be a
is
tie.
lethal. Yeah, I was trying to figure out a price.
No,
could
it
be
only
a
hits
tie,
the 6.
but,
The answer is no, but could.
I can't think of anything that the Blahguy could ever draw here. Now I don't know Blaghuy's list. There might be something we haven't considered. But this seems like a pretty guaranteed
you
win.
can draw Beaumont Courier that Luca lets go through. Sacrifice it to light up the stage to hit Bolt and Price of Progress to tie the game.
That's still insufficient. Oh yeah, no, because
Pri-
they took one
Even
damage
better,
from
Price of Progress Fire Blast. If you even play Fire Blast.
That does not do it.
I don't think that these
I'm just gonna
3 color
report quickly
lists can
while we
afford
wait
to
on
put
the
a
next
Fire Blast
third
in their list.
So while we wait on the possible third game here to sell up, I'm just gonna give you a quick report on the other tables. Currently, Evios 1, 2, and 0 over Brahms, which means that Evios went 2 and 2 for today, and Brahms went, I believe, 1 and 3. Sorry, 1 and 2 apparently, because they were given the bye. So I guess 2 and 2 as well. Stompy 2-0 over Necropotence, bringing Necro to a 2 and 2, and Stompy to a, I believe, 3 and 1 because they got a bye during one round. Seems their round 3 wasn't noted. I'm not sure why. Weird.
Whether you played the 2/2 this turn or next.
So I think if you're in like you know that Dugan missed the land, you know that the top deck the Mox here. There's no way you don't play the Mox turn 1 pretty much in that scenario.
Yeah.
So you just want to like go like choo-choo.
Now, this Lightning Skelemental is going to backfire because you know what we're going to get?
Sure
a Rotting
is.
Egg. So
Rawr. Look, if we're gonna cast this freaking price for dealing 2 damage,
You don't want to cast a Braid here. You want to cast.
Yeah, no, I like casting a Braid here more. Sadly.
You want to cast Abrupt Decay?
I'm Dark Confident, probably.
I like getting the
Even-
7/6. Like you're at 7 life.
True that.
Like, is Luca just dead now? You can.
Well, it depends on the blocks. And if you draw something.
Encore Crasher is not.
And
but
you're not dead, but you're close.
you can play this. You play this Fire.
I kind of
Blade
just
attack.
like playing the Encore Crasher here, getting in, put them at 1.
I mean, they're dead countless ways, which is why I liked getting the 7/6 back this turn. You let them get another card with Dark
I imagine
Confidant,
we're
but you
gonna
get a
just see the
huge
7/6
block
and then
block.
numbing on the yard here for a bit. Now imagine not having casted the dinosaur here. Then you've been able to block, but you were still taking like 1 less damage. So like either way, it wouldn't have been great this turn.
You do get to
At least
gain 2
at least you could have
here.
swung in with like Regisaur if you like Drew Berserks. Like this, it does
You're not dead
give you
on
a high
both.
roll option.
Or you're not dead actually right now, theoretically.
Because you go to 2, or you go to 3, sorry. You take 2 from progress and your opponent takes 6, but your opponent doesn't really care. But then they can't really attack. Not proper.
You can gain 2 with Death Ray Chomp. That's the big thing here, though.
So remind me, Artisan, when does it deal damage again?
It's upkeep. Which is one of the reasons why I like playing the Artisan last turn. You get to play the Artisan and you get the pump on last turn. I don't like doing this now. I know why Luca's doing it, but you might need this card as a blocker.
Bolt, easy. Dang it. Look,
So we see the Firebraid Artisan. So we can Artisan and Brute Force here.
I do actually like playing the Fireblade and just attacking here. No, wait.
I like playing the
I thought it was the
Firebraid
free
Artisan
for some
and
reason.
then Brute Forcing, yeah.
I guess you could trade with both creatures if you want to, but I guess the safer choice is just to play Fireblade, play the 1/2, just pass.
You could just play the Firebraid and the Knight.
The only downside to that is like I guess you might lose the Berserk? Question mark? Or Team of Battle Rage. Maybe. Maybe not Team of Battle Rage. Even then, Berserk is like not quite a guaranteed loss. So I think just playing safe here is perfectly fine.
You discard the 2 mana card. Wasteland.
Yeah, you need to find something here.
Not the
Wasteland
best.
is something, but not the something. You can play around the price of progress. Woo!
You can Wasteland your Blood Crypt to take nothing.
No.
I mean, it's still not lethal here, right?
I don't blame them, but like, no. If you just knew, Luca, if you just knew. So they gain.
I think
they go to
with
5 by
the
eating
on-crop crasher, though, this is just lethal because on-crop crasher makes something not be able to block. Although you have to sack something with the Firebrain person. So it's still not lethal. Shockingly. You have just enough blockers still. And your opponent can't price and brute force on the same turn.
No.
I do think you just throw this Knight of the Epic Legion away. I think you're like, Nate, you're gone. Bye. Nice no.
Yeah, you don't have the mana to activate it really, and it's gonna be too slow. Agreed.
Just deal the 2. Shock your opponent.
Yeah, like just like admittedly, the problem with sacking a creature each turn is the fact that then suddenly your opponent can just activate their fresh shaman each turn. That's it. Like any removal spell, any burn spell here, like doesn't necessarily do it. If it costs 1 mana, it's enough.
The thing is,
enough.
If you attack with on-crop pressure here, you can force your opponent to block with Death Witch on.
Yeah, that is true. And you force your opponent to make some really awkward blocks as well.
Yeah.
Like they probably chump the experiment 1 with the. You know what? That's a fine draw. Just swing with everything, stop the Regisaur, and then put him at 1.
Yeah.
May I
In.
present a
So-
critical flaw of that line?
No.
That then your opponent attacks you with the Rotting Regisaur.
Yeah,
You're
correct.
at 15.
Well,
Oh no, they
you know,
berserk me with no creatures in play. I go to 1, and I guess I'm dead, depending on if I play a blocker.
yeah, Berserk's a card.
Berserk
I'm
only
aware.
deals 14 though right now. All of these creatures are chump block.
I'm curious to see
Or
if they're
trade.
greedy enough to not block with the Death right here.
They are not. They are well aware that they're dying, but they need to gain life beforehand.
Hmm.
And now it's just with the price.
Yup.
Yeah.
Just
This was
a clear line of
just
play.
an elaborate ruse to bait the death right the death right activation. Yeah.
Ice. That was a fun game. Rotting Regisaur played.
there you have
Game 10 out of 10. Rotting Regisaur turned up.
Going 4-0, it would seem. We
Oh, and
have
Gosmit's here twice.
twice to me. Woo!
As I mentioned before, we had some problems with stuff
trying to
when
lose
the
finger.
tournament did things, but we are working on it. Okay.
Let's spam some commands in chat. Oh, Jesus Christ, cameras. This reminds me of a certain week 1.
I assume that's our last game that we had going on.
At least the last round, and we have a.
Yeah.
Nope, that's the last game
Yeah,
actually.
that's it. That's
Right.
it. That's it.
So
Just need to get it reported, and that's
we have
what
our
did.
standings. Blahguy 1 going 4-0. Stompy, Bailite both went 3-1. And then we have Necro, Evios, Wolfgang, Luca, and Luca going all 2-0, and then Brahms and Sparks going 1-3.
So we made it to the end of the tournament for today. I mean,
Thank you for playing. It was a long one. You
Indeed.
can blame Evios and Bailite
That
and
too.
Stompy for that. It was their fault.
Accept no responsibility.
No,
We accept
none.
no responsibility. Nope. Not at all. It's not like we could change the rules or anything.
No. That's nonsense.
Either way, we have some things to say here. As always, if you're enjoying what you're seeing here, we have a Discord where you can talk everything Canadian Highlander. You can play some games casually. It's also where you will find that we will post our events, usually. We also have our link to our next event either in the chat or in the comment section. Sorry, not the comment section, in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube. If you're interested in learning more about the 10th point as a whole, we have our website where you can find information about us. And if you want to send some love our way, then Twitch Prime or just a subscription, either way, is a lovely way to do that. And if you don't want to spend your Twitch Prime on us, spend it on someone else. Someone deserves that one. And yes, time warp combo, correct. Very important. Because
You don't know how it works?
a bit here.
Exclamation point time walk in the chat, and you can figure out the time walk combo.
In fact.
Before
We're going to time
we
warp back a bit here, if you will allow me. To the start of the stream, we did mention there was something special going on next week. There won't be a Sunday tournament next week, because we will be doing one on Saturday, 1 p.m. EST, correct?
Yes.
7 p.m. CET, and I can't remember the last one. We will be doing a special qualifier. Winning that will bring you straight to the finals. No need for grinding out weeks of tournaments. You'll just be instantly qualified. This is done so that people who can't make it to Sundays have a chance to make it to the finals this week, this season actually. It is going to be depending on the amount of players, probably a 3-round Swiss with a top 4 cut, and then top 4 play in single elimination, and last one standing gets the bye. into the because the free entry as a wild card into the tournament finals.
I do want to make the note that if we get the number of players that is grossly divergent, then what we usually get, the tournament structure will have to be adjusted accordingly. But both if we get a bunch of players less than usual or a bunch of players more than usual, but assuming that we get an amount of players that in the usual range, that's what we're going with.
We did spend a lot of time last week talking about various participant numbers and what tournament structure we will run based on numbers, so that we have a plan in place. The goal right now is to run a Swiss tournament with a cut to top 4, and that will
As
be what
always,
we run.
As always, if you have any questions or anything you feel like you want to know about this, you can hit us up either on Discord or ask us right now if you really have something you off the top of your tongue. But yeah, on this Discord, you can direct message us. You can throw us a question in the tournament discussion if it's probably applicable. Yeah, I think that ends the stream for today. I don't think we have so much more to say than thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you players for playing in this tournament. Congratulations to Blahguy going 4-0, ending Necropotence's win streak. And we will see you all next Saturday. Thank you so much for coming. Bye.
All right, let's go raid Surge. That's where we're going. Bye, everybody.